has been one of the excellent performances we've seen from an African team playing at its first World Cup, maybe mirroring the performances of Cameroon, probably Ghana, and Morocco in recent times. Verde showed everything that they had to. They were seen as minnows wanting to overcome a Herculean task against a man who turns everything impossible into routine. Verde have showed the world they are one of the nations to look forward to when it comes to modern football in the next couple of years. But fast forward to a country always brimming with confidence, with quality players, but they've fallen so deep in the abyss, nothing seems to salvage them in the last 4-5 tournaments they've been through. And that is our own nation, Ghana. The Black Stars once again disappointing at a major tournament, and they've been eliminated. Hopefully, certain things are done right in the local scene. Welcome to the 50-50 Football Podcast, where we serve you with everything 50-50. We take no sides. We are only going to go through to the call. The round of 16 is set. The top nations have made it. 2 African nations, all North Africans. Well, does this tell the rest of Africa a story? We'll be waiting to see what happens. But the big giants are all in. To have France, to have Argentina, to have Brazil, to have Belgium, to have Spain in there, it tells you that it's going to be sizzling. And don't forget, all the hosts are still valid in the tournament because they made it to the round of 16. We are going to delve a lot more deeper into all these. But first of all, let's start with the Black Stars. My name is Kelvin Oswans. I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this with Kwakusa Foments and Nana Asariman Ghana. Kwame, also from United and, everything football. He's here. Dale, guys, it's been quite a disappointing performance from the team, but we need to wake up to this.
I think disappointing
Dale,
is an
I'll let these guys talk
exaggeration.
before you. Kwame, I'll let you talk before Kwame.
Our Black Stars, our journey comes to an end. For some of us, this was the furthest that we thought we could get to. The performance may have let a bitter pill in a lot of people's mouths, but I think we go as far as we could, and we just have to, lick our wounds and then prepare for what lies ahead.
Well, cool. Now the day is over. The day is over for the Black Stars.
I mean, pre-production, we had a conversation, and I asked you guys before the tournament in March, or let's say in April, if a soothsayer had told us that, listen, you go to the World Cup, you qualify even before the final group game. Mind you, this is the second time this has happened. The first time we knew we were going to qualify even before the final group game was in 2006, right? We knew we were going to beat USA. In 2010, it took goal difference for us to qualify out of the group. People forget that. We won the first game against Serbia.
Yeah.
We drew inexplicably against Australia after taking the lead through Asamoah Gyan. Final game against Germany was always going to be a tall order. Mesut Ozil's wonderful strike from behind the goal, sank us in that game. And we had to wait for other results to ensure that we had qualified. But in 2026, even before the final game, we knew we had made it. We just knew we had made it, right? And so if anyone had told us that we were going to qualify out of the group, even before our final game, and conceded just 3 goals. Mind you, we conceded 7 goals in fact, aggregate-wise, we conceded 8 goals in 3 friendly games leading to the World Cup. Or maybe even 9, because we conceded 5 against Austria, 2 against Germany, and I think 1 against Wales as well. So when I do the math, I think it's about 8. 8 goals in 3 games. And now, all of a sudden, we turn things around. We lost Jiku, we lost Salisu. And all of a sudden, we concede 3 goals in 4 games. I would have taken it. Mind you, of course, we're always going to have problems in attack if we don't have Kudus, right? Kudus has been the spark in our attack for God knows how long, and we lost him. Myanmar's coming to the World Cup with just 30 or 35 minutes of playing time this season. So again, listen, I think it's been a successful journey from my perspective. I know a lot, other people would disagree. I won't fault the boys too much. We got a coach 57 days. Mangana has the statistics, the math, so he knows the number of days the coach, was at the helm. But I know for sure, the coach before the first game didn't have 10 training sessions with the team under his belt with a full complement. He didn't even have 10 training sessions, right? So for me, it's been I wouldn't say wonderful, but it's been a successful campaign. I didn't think would make it this far. And before, I pass it on, listen, you can't reap what you haven't sown. We haven't sown to reap that sort of performance you guys are expecting. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And
Mangana.
yeah, I mean,
Ogu has gone full blown.
if you extrapolate it and look at it from that sense, yes, it looks like a decent showing. But one thing I would like to also point out to all of you is, in this tournament, it was an expanded version. It was 40. It was what do you call it? Eight third place teams to have the opportunity to qualify. So there has never been a tournament that was easiest to qualify out of into the knockout round than this one. So in as much as the boys may have qualified, if it was the previous iteration, we would have gone out because we were third. So it is not as glamorous a qualification as we might think, but it's a qualification nonetheless. And just like Kweku said, coming into the tournament, I really said from the beginning to Ado coaching us, I was like, yeah, we might as well just, if I pack our bags right after the last good game and go home. But the new coach coming in with us, with the few training sessions that he had, and the performances that he was able to get out of the team, we would say they punched above their weight considering the personnel that we had. Because if we had all players fit, I don't think several of those players will probably get into the team and even get minutes to play. So it's understandable in terms of that they've punched above their weight. They've performed better than we expected them to. But what is the stick that they are beating the teammate is not that they haven't performed in the tournament. Is that they felt they could have put a bit more effort into the final game. At least if you are going out, let us feel like you've given your all. Like you could have done. This is all you could give. Look at how Cape Verde went out. They played everything they could play. They just met a team that has more than they did. But anytime you were watching the game, you could feel like everyone was calling for who is going to come. Like you could tell, like if we felt there were certain things that we could have done to at least make it a challenge. But the whole performance felt like it petered out very early. And once Colombia scored, Colombia played like we don't need to play above any other level than the first gear that we are in, because these people cannot trouble us. At certain points in the game, it looked like we were up 1-0 and we were trying to kill the game. It was funny to me because I was like, how are you playing like you are the one that is up? But yeah, that's the Black Stars for you this tournament. We take the performance because we qualified out of the group stages, and that will be another notch on our World Cup CV.
Well, sorry, you just went straight into the performance of the last game, and then so allow Kwame, the game against Colombia. Could we have done anything different? Where did we fall short?
I think in the second half, the coach should have taken the handbrake off. I know the type of manager that he is, and I was impressed with how he had managed the team up until that very point. Because before the start of the tournament, I'm sorry I have to take us all the way back again. Before the start of the tournament,
that's fine.
I was very wary of how we're going to approach games based on the quality of squad that we have at our disposal. Let me add at our disposal, because we had a lot of players missing, good players missing, players who kind of make a difference. But I was very, very scared of how we approach games based on what we had at our disposal, especially defensively. There was a lot to find out about this team. Right back, the new right back, Senaya, the Togolese, how he's going to sort of fit in our new centre-back partnership, which hadn't really played together before. So I was just, and then in central midfield, the whole Partey issue. I've had so much discourse over this Partey issue, how it's going to affect the team. So for us to set up defensively, as his portfolio sort of suggests, and the boys to be disciplined in executing those tactics for long stretches of games. That's even more surprising for me because most of them are not. It says cliche. African teams, we lack, it's even shown in this tournament. Let's just be honest. We lack a lot of, we can't see things through. We can't see a plan through. But then this team was able to do that for at least the first 2 games to qualify us. And not to take credit away from the team, you play to the level of competition and you play to the rules. We knew we had qualified. That's how come our 3rd game were more open. We could have had more points if, for instance, it was just 2 teams who were going to qualify from the group. We would have approached the 3rd game against Croatia completely differently. I'm just hitting back at Nana, sorry for saying it's a 3-team, blah, blah, blah. Nah. It's not fair. If we knew we needed a point against Croatia, that game would have been as boring as we played against England. We would probably have come out with a point and probably finished 2nd. So not to take credit at all from this team. But when we get to the knockout stage, and plan A is completely out of the window after 15, 20 minutes because of, I put it down to just the bad timing of Senegal's injury and then the quality of substitutes that came on. That boy, Ali Dusedu, was not ready to play football in this tournament. It clearly showed from his facial expression when he was brought on that, you know what, I probably didn't expect to play, but here I am. He wasn't ready to play.
Kwame, let me interrupt you. So in our game against Croatia, right, I was seated very close to the technical bench, and they were warming up right in front of me when Senegal had an issue and the coach wanted to make a substitution. Alidu was visibly hiding. He was visibly hiding. He didn't want to be called. And so Kojo Pompepra was called. And to remember when we had to make a substitution, Kojo Pompepra was actually called and he slotted into right back to play in that game against Croatia. England. My bad. Against England. We took Senegal off at some point and we brought Kojo Pompepra on as a right back to play. And remember, he even had a goal line clearance at the end of the game when they had a lot of crosses coming into the box. Yeah. So again, just to buttress your point, Alidu was not ready.
He was not ready.
He wasn't ready to play tournament football.
And we get into halftime, and this is a chance for us to re-strategize, reorganize. And that's why I come back to the coach. Go for it. There was no point holding back anymore. We had 2 30-plus-year-olds in attack who were not effective in any way. Jordan Ayew, there are a lot of people who haven't taken this into consideration. Kansas City, the weather situation there, extremely hot today. Extremely hot. You look at someone like Jordan Ayew at his age, the miles he's put on in this tournament alone, he couldn't even run. He was walking around the football pitch in the first half, not because he doesn't want to do it. He just can't do it. Like, he could not do it. He couldn't even move on the football pitch. And when the ball came to him, it never stuck. He lost possession countless times. Not that he wasn't doing it before. But this is a case where we are down and we need somebody to hold on to the ball for us, keep possession for us. And he was losing it. You know what I'm saying? So yet in the second half, you have to take off the 30-plus-year-olds who are not effective at all in the game anymore. Inaki Williams, for 4 years, I've been waiting for him to show up. There's no point of him coming back onto the pitch in the second half. Jordan and you shouldn't come back onto the pitch in the second half. You make changes to go like, you know what? This game is not going our way this time. In 45 minutes, we are being sent packing. Just go for it. But he didn't do it. Even more disappointing, I was thinking, okay, fine. You didn't do it at 45 minutes. That's fine. A lot of coaches don't do that at 45 minutes. You work with Alex Ferguson. He barely does halftime changes. After 60 minutes, I know something is going to happen. We hit the 60-minute mark and I see these boys coming up and I'm like, there's the time to make the right. And then he leaves Jordan Ayew on. What's he going to do? I never ever attack Jordan Ayew for anything. It's about profile of players. This is how he plays. But you have different profile of players that you can turn to. Why don't you turn into them? So for the first time in 4 games, I was disappointed, extremely disappointed. And he left him on beyond the 70th. I don't know when he went off, 77 minutes.
77th minute.
That was so disappointing. And you bring Nyama into the middle of the park to play as the number 10 when you have a profile of number 10 on the bench. What are we doing here? Is it the whole agency thing that we are renowned for? Is that what is going on here? Brandon Asante has had an impact in his first game. Barely had any minutes since. And then you're bringing on, what's the other guy? The striker who was just making fouls all over the place.
What's his name? Kwabena, Edu Kwabena.
Prince Edu Kwabena. Yeah, Prince Edu
Zero
Kwabena.
impact. After that guy didn't roll around in the England game to win us a penalty, I was like, this guy.
That was it.
This guy shouldn't. He doesn't know what he's doing. So
Yeah.
it's just today, I think the game was poorly managed by the coach. I put most of the blame on him. He's the one who has gotten us this far, but when he also is at fault, it's okay for us to call it out. I feel he let us down with how he managed the football game. He didn't give us a chance to even win. That's the issue I had. But as for the results, I'm not gonna come and sit here and pretend I'm distraught or I'm surprised or I'm sad. No. We got as far as we could. This team, I did not even expect to get out of the group. So for us to get as far as we did, I think it's okay. But for us to get our Black Stars back, because this is not the Black Stars we know. This is not the football we play.
Nowhere
This
close.
is not the Black Stars. It's not. For us to get our Black Stars back, we honestly have to get back, do our homework well, and re-strategize, open the pool again for better players, and then just go again.
Well, I think, a number of us have been a bit disappointed with the coach, and especially this particular game. But coming to the tournament, like I said, this is a coach I watched at the 2022 Africa Cup, 2021 Africa Cup of Nations in 2022. How he brought the Egyptian team, all the way to the final and eventually lost on penalties to Senegal. But I think something was different. We shouldn't kid ourselves. Quality-wise, we are terrible. We are bad. Nobody could tell me that if Ghana Black Stars, the Black Stars that we knew, that could sacrifice Harrison Affo to play left back because we had too many right backs, is now, deciding to play Ali Duseidu as our backup right back, clearly told us that we were just rotten. The Black Stars that could afford so many midfielders, we could make changes every now and then. And we're crying that without Thomas Partey, who was, having issues, was not going to survive at the major tournament. Then it clearly told us how poor we've become. And a Black Stars team who cannot have a striker they can have faith in, that the striker will always call for the ball inside the penalty area to strike or pick up the pass and run at defenders looking for a goal. And we're still sticking to Jordan Ayew, who Leicester City have even forgotten him this entire season, or the just ended season. It clearly told us we were rotten. And for me, I may not blame Carlos Queiroz so much. Maybe the handover notes or the current technical team members who offered him advice were equally terrible. Talking about Desmond and then John Painter. On any day, they should be providing better notes. And what sort of scouting did they do to omit Ashmeru and put Augustin Boache and still not allow these players to be involved a lot more? Prior to this game, I spoke to Lai Kinson and he was very much livid that this team has the players to play, they are on the bench. But the coach and the rest of the technical team are failing to see which players they can actually use for the good of Ghana. And he made an instance that, let's look at the Spanish team. They're not looking at names. Look at what De La Fuente has done. If coming into this tournament, anyone told you that Alex Baena, Pedro Porro, or Yatabal and the likes were going to lead the Spanish team, I'm sure many would have been rubbishing them. If Nico Williams was a Ghanaian, he would have been starting. He would start Ghana's games. Look at England.
And he'd be our best player.
Yes, Bukayo Saka isn't fit and available. What is Tuchel doing? Even though he's terrible, he's clearly showing that if you don't perform, look at what he did to Anthony Gordon when he failed to perform in the first two games. He's benched him, and he played Rashford. He played, still playing Noni Madueke and making changes. At right back, when he has issues, even though he doesn't have the best of right back, which is his own doing, dropping Arnold, because if you are picking players and you have one player who is poor at doing two things, but a player who is
just
poor,
hit a
better.
Kwame is a big England fan.
Yeah, I know. Doing one thing. Yeah, at doing one thing. Then it clearly told. So I think that our team, our coaches let us down seriously. It was just bad. Fine, we are hearing issues of discipline. The reason why someone like Thomas Brandon Asante might have struggled for minutes at this particular tournament, because we hear he was a bit indisciplined. He wasn't, so happy with certain decisions being made by the
Yeah.
technical team. And
Of course,
arguably,
if
you
you're
can't
seeing the
fault him.
people who are playing ahead of you, why would you be aggrieved?
Exactly,
But-
and they
but
are not
guys,
performing. It's not like the Ryan
Yeah.
Cherky situation where he wants to play ahead of Olise, which everyone thinks
And then
that guy is
exactly.
behaving stupidly. But this is a team where Thomas Brandon Asante, out of all your forwards, is the best performing forward for you from
And
Coventry
Kelvin.
City up to
less than
even
20
the
minutes.
first game.
Kelvin,
Yeah.
let's talk about Thomas Brandon something for a hot minute, right?
All
He
right.
came on against Panama. What was the game situation? The game situation was such that it was the Panama team had pushed up. They had left a
Yeah.
lot of spaces in behind. And
Mhm.
so he could run into those channels. And so he was very effective in that game.
Mhm.
Against England, he didn't come on. I thought he probably could have come on because the English team also they left a lot of spaces in behind. I was
Exactly.
seated right there. I thought he should have come on. Against Croatia, I thought it was needless for him to come on because at that point, Croatia had the lead. They had retreated. They were literally, they literally had a low block at the time, right? Seated right there. I could see it. And so he was ineffective when he came on. Perhaps, don't you think the coach thought he would be ineffective again against Colombia after they took the lead and they had, because in the second half, the Colombians played a low block. Don't you think the coach thought he would be ineffective?
Let me let you know one thing. Colombia's defense, they are ragged. They want
Well,
the
Davinson Sanchez
aggressive.
would.
So what do you
always
do?
make
Is
a
Jordan
mistake
the
at some
best?
point.
Is Jordan the best player to play as the
I
RN?
don't think Jordan. Listen, I think Jordan should
Exactly.
have
So
come off
why don't you
in the
put
third
someone
quarter.
who
I call it the third quarter because now football is the World Cup is played in 4 quarters now. The hydration breaks or whatever breaks they want to call it. I call it the third quarter now. I thought during that hydration break, Jordan should have gone off. That was my thought.
Exactly.
In
So
fact,
even from the start, Kwaku, if you have Davinson Sanchez and then Richard Rios, very silly players in the back line.
Brandon will get
They
them.
don't
Will
care.
get them a red card.
They
a
are
yellow
coming.
card
They are coming
easily.
to butcher you. So what do? You put a player who will battle them. The scraps may fall for the others. Exactly. Look at what
Calvin made a
Switzerland
point.
does. Yeah.
Calvin made a
Kwame.
point earlier with the Rashford thing. He made a point earlier with the Rashford and Gordon example.
Yeah.
Right? Gordon started the first game, did not play well.
Yeah.
The first two actually.
Rashford came in as a sub in the first game.
Mhm.
And you would say the same thing with the Brandon Asante issue.
Mhm.
The game had opened up a little bit in the second, the
Second
fourth
half.
quarter,
Fourth
against
quarter.
Croatia. I'm using your same analogy. The fourth quarter
Yeah.
against Croatia, he had the space because Croatia were chasing the game. He scored
Yeah.
a goal. But it's
Yeah.
about you coming on to make the impact, to make a case that you deserve to start, because
I
there is
agree.
not that much a difference between the quality of these players, amongst the quality of these players. There isn't.
I agree.
And when you
Yeah.
talk about form-wise, he's played more minutes. He's qualified
Mhm.
with Coventry to the Premier League. He's on a high. And
Mhm.
then you are lucky. You are lucky with the fact that he's one of your forwards who comes on. And mind you, even prior to that friendly, the only friendly game he played against Wales. When he came on, he was impactful. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
for me, that was the first time I actually seen him being impactful for the Black Stars, because every other time he comes on for the last 5 minutes, the last 3 minutes of games, I don't really see much going on. I just see him running a lot. The only other time you probably say he had extended time was that useless competition we went to play in UK. What the 14?
Yeah. That 14 tournament. Yeah, I forgot
Unity Cup.
Unity
I think
Cup,
that's when
yeah.
he scored his only goal for the Black Stars, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he scored in one of the games against Nigeria. I think he scored a consolation goal when we lost 2-1.
Yeah.
But beyond that, we hadn't really seen much. But he came on in this World Cup against Panama. Big impact. Massive impact. See, there were players who were shooting. In fact, he even made that same mistake. He had a one-on-one. I think it was called offside. He shot when he should have passed.
Mhm.
Others were doing the same thing. See, Ishaku against Croatia. But this time, he took his time, put the ball across the face of goal, and won us the game. Huge impact. What do? He doesn't
Bench him
play.
and don't play again.
He basically doesn't play for the rest of the tournament. And the game state is even similar. I'm talking about today's game. It's similar to the first game.
Yeah.
We're down there.
Yeah.
We're down. We need a goal.
Mhm.
Someone came on, impacted. Every other person you've brought on hasn't really done much in terms of impacting, getting us something.
Yeah.
Who do you turn to? You turn to the guy who's actually done it. But no minutes. What are we doing here?
It was appalling. It was very, very appalling not to see him come on. Me, mostly because I just think the kind of player he is, he's going to let defenders commit.
Oh,
He will commit
Yes.
defenders.
he's busy.
And he'll get us up the pitch. But nah.
He's young, he can run, he's
exactly. And anytime, and when he came on, even in the first game, when he came on, you could tell that all of a sudden, Semenyon's this one changed. Now he had someone he could dovetail with, someone he could link up with.
Guys,
Yeah.
I always say this. Asamoah Gyan, he's one of the luckiest players we've ever had. Do you know why? Don't get me wrong. You
Tell
just
us.
hear me out.
Tell us.
Mm-hmm.
He's lucky in the sense that he was given opportunity. I remember in 2008, do you remember when he was booed and then he said he's not going to play the rest of the tournaments, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we stuck with him. And we're like, you know what? We're going to make you a Black Star striker. You play despite your age, despite the fact that you are not as matured. You are somebody that we've brought through our system. I mean, you've played under whatever, you've played the Olympics, blah, blah, blah. We are building you up for that moment. That tournament would come where you would seize that opportunity and then you become whatever that you want us to be. I think that tournament was the one we played in Angola, where we went to the
2010
final.
2010.
That was the
Yeah.
making of Asamoah Gyan for me. But things could have gone to... Are we allowed to swear on this show or not?
Oh, please.
Oh,
Please
things
go
could have
on.
gone to shits. If after 2008, he just went like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. The pressure is too much, blah, blah, blah. Would have had to look elsewhere. But we stuck
Yeah.
with him. We have an aging striker situation. Jordan Ayew is 32. He carried us to the World Cup. That's, I think, what people are sort of, maybe the football people, those who are running our football are sort of rewarding him for, being the glue who stuck everything together in the midst of despair. Because prior to the World Cup qualification, we were in trouble. But he held with us, contributed to countless number of goals and got us there. But once we are there, this is an opportunity for us to unearth another striker. Because there must be a passing of the baton at one point. You have a couple of young strikers on the bench. One of them, who is going to play in the English Premier League next season for Coventry.
Yeah.
He starts a lot of games for Coventry. It's not like he's just a bit part player. He scores a lot of goals for Coventry. You kind of feel like, you know what, this is the opportunity to go like, he's shown us something here. Why don't we just stick him up front and see whether he can carry on from here and be that main guy for us? Imagine this. Just imagine this. He started the second game against England, the country of his birth. And he scored a winning goal against England. He had that opportunity that Opoku, the guy who should have Prince Edu had, and he stuck it away. Even if he didn't stick it away, he would have cleverly won us a penalty because I believe he would have rolled on the ground and acted it all out because he was
screamed a little bit.
Exactly, he would have been more professional in quotes.
Yeah.
Imagine if he won us that football game against the country of his birth. That alone puts him in a different stratosphere for us. We go like, this guy could be our guy. Because now we still need a guy. We are going into the AFCON and we don't have a guy. And I'm like, why do you miss this opportunity? I still don't get it. He could easily have been the guy for us.
You see, the transition, right? And this whole conversation about who takes over from Jordan, who takes over from Partey, I think it goes beyond the current players we have. I think it's a whole issue about how we've managed our teams from the under 17 level to under 20 level to under 23 level. And I think it's another conversation that we could get into.
Yes, I didn't want you to go back there. Let's stick with with the current team, you could have gotten something out of it.
Yeah, get this guy, get him playing.
I agree. We could have given Thomas Bandasantin more opportunities, especially after what he did when he came on against Panama. But guys, mind you, we went into the tournament with a team that had 0 players with World Cup knockout football. Not even Jordan had even played in a knockout game for the World Cup. At the World Cup for the Black Stars. Remember in 2014, we were kicked out in the group stage, right? 2018, same. We didn't get out. Sorry, we didn't even qualify for 2018. 2020,
qualify,
we made it. Yeah, 2022, we couldn't get out of the group. So the inexperience is also, an issue. Now, I want us to have a conversation about the goal we conceded, and I like to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Alido had just come on. The defense had shifted to the left. And the John Arias was left completely unmarked at the far post. Do you guys think our goalkeeper could have organized his defense better because he had like a full view and could have perhaps called Urenchi because Urenchi was tracking back?
Yeah, but Urenchi was also looking at areas, and you should have realized that there's no one marking him. The right back has moved into midfield into central defense to cover the central defenders.
Luis Diaz, yeah.
Yes. So you, who is looking at the player on the far post, is supposed to close in because what's his name? The other winger is Enaki on the other side. Hadn't also
He didn't make the run. I think he was on the left back.
Yeah, so you Urenchi, who is in the double at that point, you were standing more like the double people. You are looking at the player and you watch them cross the ball and like making no effort to at least even get close enough to put him off. And where the finish was very good because Atizigi was now scrambling to the other side to try and cover the far post, and then he placed it back to where he was coming from. That was exactly how you finished that ball. So when people are like, Atizigi, I was like, what do you expect Atizigi to do?
So
it's not about saving the ball. For me, it's about the organization.
What he should be doing is,
Urenchi should have recognized that I have to come and cover because Ali Duseidu has gone into the central defense, and once he doesn't realize, and you have to also understand that Atizigi is also looking at the cross coming in to see whether he can intercept the cross or whether the striker who is coming to head the ball can head it into the forward. He can't, at that moment, he can't be looking at that and looking at this and telling you, come and mark this one, when he doesn't know if the striker will even get his head on the ball. So I think the players should have been, especially Urenchi, because he was closest, he should have been able to see that, sense that danger is coming. Let me at least try and get as close as possible. Even if I'm not able to block the shot, I can just being close, might even put him off and let him sky the ball. But he was like, he just stood there, watched him, and then he coolly just stabbed the ball. And I was like, yeah, like I don't know what else you people want the keeper to do, because he can't be watching the cross coming in, anticipating whether the striker is going to head the ball, and still be yelling at the midfielder to come and cover the defender that has moved. Sometimes
Mangana,
Mangana,
that is the job of every goalkeeper.
That's what I was about
you
to say.
multitask. You multitask in defense. Wait, you multitask in defensive situations. And
you recognize the danger
job.
And then you make the shot.
If you want to be a top level modern goalkeeper, those are the elements you should be having in your game. As soon as the ball went to the right hand side of the Colombian attack, the next thing for him was to quickly look at the organization of his defenders and start calling out his center backs.
Are we ready for the cross?
They would have instructed.
Like,
so you see, as soon as he calls out to the center backs, then Lucasen would quickly have a look at whoever is coming from central midfield. Sibo, what was Sibo's positioning? What was Kelle's positioning? So the sense of awareness and calling out each other was a bit of a problem there, and it's something that I see with modern goalkeepers.
Massive contrary opinion to what you guys are talking about, because we have to consider the game state. Then let's walk ourselves back to the sequence of events that had just taken place just before the goal. Our right back went off.
Yeah.
And I'll make that reference because our coach made a reference at the end of the game that the right back going off left us disorganized. It tells you that, first of all, it's a plan A. There's not that much of a plan B. There's not that much of, in case something happens, this is what we are going to do. So what I'm trying to say is there would be utter confusion there to start with. But if you remember what happened when the right back went off, Urenchi went to play as right back for just a couple of minutes.
Before
came on.
Because our right back Senegal was trying to get back into the play. Like he was trying to continue. That's when they asked Ali Duseidu, I'm taking us all the way, so we walk ourselves back there, you consider why that happened. A lot of things were happening. So Ali Duseidu is now called on to go like, you know what, we think you need to go on. But he tries coming on, and Senegal says, I can continue.
Yeah.
Senegal then comes on, Urenchi then moves back from the right back position back into central midfield. And the injured right back is hobbling on the football pitch. Then finally goes down and goes like, you know, I can't continue anymore. He goes off. You have to consider this whole back and forth. Senegal, the Urenchi goes there, comes back into the middle of the park. Now, this fresh right back goes onto the football pitch. And we all agree, he did not look ready at all when he came on. So you're asking a lot of a goalkeeper going like, how do I organize everything that's going on right now? Because even the bench can't seem to get what is actually going on right now.
Mhm.
Our coach can't
Kwame.
even seem to get. Just hold on. I know why you asked that question. You're asking that question in the broad sense because why did we even select this goalkeeper today instead of the other goalkeeper? I know what you're doing. I know why you asked that question. But my point is this. There was a lot going on in that sequence for us to then point fingers at the goalkeeper, especially when the cross is coming from the other side. And it wasn't this an in-swinging cross. Consider the type of cross. It
Was
wasn't
an
an
outswinger.
in-swinging cross. It was an outswinger.
Yes.
It's moving away from the goalkeeper,
yes.
not coming into the goalkeeper. Because if it's coming to the goalkeeper can then make a decision. Possibly even to come out to do something about it. But the ball goes to the far end where ideally, if we had everybody in the position that they're supposed to be, our starting right back, that's not happening. Inaki might even be there. We're even talking about Urenchi. Ask yourself, where was the right winger? When the right back had gotten sucked in, typically what happens is the right winger who is tracking back is even supposed to be with the fullback.
I see, Kwame, the goal scorer was not the fullback. The goal scorer was the other inverted number 10, which was John Arias.
I get it. But my
See
point
where
is
John
that if you're
Arias'
talking about
run came from. His run came from infield. He didn't come from the wide area. And
So
that's my point. My point is simple. The goalkeeper should recognize the danger and organize, like shout and point. You don't even need to look there.
I think
but you should be shouting
that's
my
extremely
back
harsh.
That is very harsh. On the
That's
goalkeeper.
me.
Very, very
That's
harsh.
my point.
Very
It's
harsh.
extremely harsh on the goalkeeper, especially a goalkeeper who kept us in it from the very beginning. But for
Listen,
Okay,
I think once I think he had a responsibility to organize the defense well, because as the goalkeeper,
I think it's harsh. I think it's harsh.
Yeah, we won't let you put this on
as the goalkeeper,
it was just too much
think
going on.
he should
There.
have
I feel like
organized well.
And when it comes to the goalkeeper situation, we all know
the way
that
I see that goal is Colombia took advantage of
the
a
disorganization.
moment where
Mhm.
Ghana were at its weakest because we're going through a sequence of things that usually teams take advantage of. That's a plus on Colombia, massive plus on Colombia.
Mhm.
See the Argentina game before our game,
Yeah,
Tagliafico or somebody had some injury.
yeah.
Did you see how Argentina deliberately made sure that there will not even be a man down for even
the
10
referee
seconds?
waited and let him come on.
They
Let
did
him change his
everything
jersey and come
possible,
on.
to make sure that you know what.
And these are the fine margins that they
Fine
allow
margins.
for the.
That's the thing.
But I think
I
we shouldn't glorify that. That shouldn't have been
That was
done.
a terrible
The
decision by the
referee-
ref. Yes, it
the
was a
referee
terrible
was
No,
decision.
I'm not glorifying that. But what I'm trying to say
but I
is
just
it's
saying
gamesmanship. It's gamesmanship.
gamesmanship.
People are trying to
Now-
make sure they're
Now,
not at a
in gamesmanship,
disadvantage.
we should not glorify what the advantage the referee gave the Argentines as gamesmanship.
Yeah.
Kelvin,
It's not
if you heard
gamesmanship.
me,
It is-
Kelvin,
it
if
is-
you heard
it
me,
is-
I
it is a
never even
deliberate
credited the
approach.
referee.
It is
I
a
never even
deliberate
credited the
approach.
referee.
It's
I
a
was talking
deliberate
about
approach to
the
allow Argentina
Argentines.
move on. They got so much away with so many things. I don't want
Kelvin.
to get to that.
Kelvin,
Come on.
Kelvin,
How is
Kelvin,
it that it's
that's-
stipulated in the rules that if someone gets injured, it should stay off a minute. Tagliafico just gets off, gets another shirt on, and he's allowed to come on.
The rules are
And
different
especially when he was,
Argentina plays.
especially when he was bleeding.
See, this
It
is one
didn't
thing
make any
that
sense. You know, I am watching the goal. I am watching. Yeah,
No,
Seminole
Kelvin,
spoke
listen.
about
Yeah.
I'm watching the goal again.
after the England
I am
game.
watching the goal
Yeah,
again.
England.
Yeah,
Seminole said this, that we sometimes have to be a bit dirty.
Yeah.
Gamesmanship, it's very important. It wins. See, the football at this level, it's fine margins. Close games like this, sometimes it's just fine margins. Do something to help your team win a football game. Nobody cares
That's
what
all.
happens at the end. We'll debate it at the end of the game.
That's
You know
all.
what I'm saying? But you have to make sure that Tagliafico, Argentina, I never mentioned the referee, they knew that they did not want that guy off the football pitch for even 10 seconds because the game states a man down, a defender, you'll be taken advantage of.
And they had a free kick as well. So
I'm just
the numbers wouldn't
juxtaposing
work for
it
them.
against
I think
the
they were
Ghana situation.
they were defending a corner, right?
there was
Exactly.
a corner or a free
They were
kick.
defending a
I think
corner.
it was
They were
even a
defending a
throw-in.
corner.
Something like
Was
that.
it a throw-in? I know it was something on the lateral end.
It was
set
a free
piece.
kick or a corner. One of
Set
them. Yeah.
piece.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, you juxtapose it against the Ghana situation. Colombia recognized we were weak at that point. And me sitting behind my TV, all I was saying is, you have to get through to halftime because that guy who is coming on, what he showed me for the first 30 seconds.
Rios.
No, I'm talking about Ali Dusedu. What he showed me for just 30 seconds. I saw him for 30 seconds on the football.
Busy for that thing.
I said, we are doomed.
No, but I
Because he
think
didn't know where he
in the
was
second
standing.
half,
He
though.
didn't know anything.
So
He was just confused.
yeah, Kwaku, I am looking at the goal again. All of us, I'm just looking at the goal again.
Yes.
And the ball came from the right-hand side of the attacking area. That is on the left-hand side of Ghana's defense. Fine. Gideon, I think, did a poor job in allowing in the cross.
Stopping the cross,
But
right?
look at where Ali do and then the rest of the central defenders. They run from our second third of the pitch into the penalty area. And nobody can tell me that they couldn't organize themselves. Alidu could have just.
Ask yourself, where did the areas come from? No. Where did the areas come from?
Lucasson, pick up on this guy, and then he could have picked up on
someone
Arias.
should be telling
Arias
him.
came on the
Someone should be
blind
telling
side.
him.
You know,
I think
these are
someone
basics.
behind should be telling him, and that's the goalkeeper.
We won't let you people put this one on Atizigi. This one,
it's not what we are putting on who. Kwame and Manga. It's not what we are putting on who. We are just analyzing the game. From my perspective, I think the goalkeeper could have done better in organizing his defense. That's
so these are the reasons why. These are some of the reasons why Spain will pick a goalkeeper like Unai Simon ahead of all the other performing ones.
Look,
because of what? Because of command.
Kelvin, if an on-field player
and their detailed game management.
Kelvin, if two on-field players, your job as a winger is to cover your right back, and you don't do
the goal scorer was not always so.
It's not always so.
Relax.
It's not always so.
I'm not done. So you are allowing them.
The goal scorer was not a right back.
Relax. I'm not done. I'm not done. Let me finish.
Unai Simon thing.
Let me finish.
It's so misplaced, but
look,
probably a topic for another.
It doesn't have to be a right back, but where he was placed when he finished the ball was in the area that the right back was supposed to be at, right?
No. We use a lot of words, but I think the meanings matter. We talk about compact space between the lines, space between defenders. The defense had shifted to the left. The spaces had to be tight. You can't blame Alidu for vacating the position.
I'm not blaming Alidu. Alidu did what he was supposed to do to cover the centre back for who was supposed to go to head the ball. Great. And I'm saying, so if the central midfielder, you've allowed the 10 to walk all the way through and come and finish that ball, and you are telling me that the keeper is supposed to tell the central midfielder to do his job.
All I'm saying is
that the keeper should be telling the central midfielder to do his job.
The goalkeeper, who is the custodian of the goalpost, should recognize that danger and shout at you to cover.
He should be shouting at the central midfielder.
I've looked at the replay several times. At no point did I see Atizigi point to the back post that, hey, listen, someone is free. And I say that because he had a complete sight of view of everything. He's in the goalpost.
You realize that Atizigi is also supposed to be looking at in the direction of the ball, right?
Listen,
so he doesn't have everybody to see that the person is
sees everything. The sequence of play as the ball is moving to the far left.
Your audio is being lost. Take your time. That's all right.
Yeah, it's too booming. It's too booming at this point. Listen, I think we've dwelled so much on this goal. I think we'll agree to disagree. And that's why this pod is called a 50-50 football podcast, right?
All right, so it ends 50-50, two on the side, two on another side. Let's move on. Well, let's move on.
Fair point.
50 years.
And then Kelvin, one more thing, right? We made substitutions. We desperately needed someone to link up the midfield and attack, and we brought Nyama on as a number 10. Mind you, this is not the first time we've tried that thing. We tried with Kamaldeen as a number 10 in 2 games. It didn't work.
Kamaldeen.
Yeah. And then we tried again with Nyama as a number 10, which clearly was not going to work, and it didn't work. It tells you clearly that the coach didn't trust Augustin Boache, who I believe has never played for the Black Stars. I think his first call-up was into was for the World Cup. And so, again, I think Kwame or Kelvin, one of you mentioned scouting and the pool of players that we have. Yeah. Are we really profiling players well? Are we really scouting well? Is Augustin Boache really not good enough? Listen, I'll be honest and tell you, I haven't seen him play a full football game since his days at Wafa. Because I watched him at Wafa when he was a goalkeeper before he left. He played half a season. He was a goalkeeper in the Ghana Premier League before he left to Wolfsberger AC in the Austrian League.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him play since. But I've seen a couple of highlights. I think Oreku posts some highlights of him on X. But I think the coach doesn't trust him. So he got 0 minutes. And I believe he's the only outfield player who got 0 minutes. Because even Baba Rahman came on against England.
Yep.
So I think Bonsuba as well.
Also,
yes. I think he's a left footer, right?
Yeah. When it comes to the scouting bits, what I'm going to say about that is it doesn't matter who you choose to do the scouting when you have the football structure that we have. Because if we believe that the structure is incompetent, they cannot make any competent decisions to select pool of players that are actually going to play properly for the team. They are going to look at their own interests, what will benefit them, and bring the players that will benefit them.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think I'll change the term incompetence to dishonesty. They are very dishonest people.
Well, that has been the case.
Incompetence would mean that they don't know what they're doing. Yep, incompetence would mean they don't know what they're doing. Sorry,
yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah.
So, Kwaku, what I think happens is, just as you are saying, the dishonesty, and I don't know whether it's from coaching, it's from the technical team, or it's from
the top
administration.
It's from the top.
At the 2023 AFCON in Cameroon, we all knew that the best player or the next player whose profile was fit to replace Ashmeri Majid when he was injured was Asante Kotokos Richmond Lamptey. Even Ashmeri knows that his technical ability and quality, so it's higher than Ashmeri himself. Because
were they there together at Wafa?
Yes,
they were
but
together.
Richmond was a senior. Okay. Yes, Richmond, Ashmeri.
Gideon Waja,
so what did we do?
Then,
yes. What did we do? We went to the tournament. We put him on the bench. He was carrying the coma, the temaku, and whatever. Now we come to this tournament.
It was a training cone.
Yes, we come to this tournament, and I always say that top coaches look at what works for them, look at the profile of players, and then they get something out of it. Nobody can tell me that when we were trailing by a 0-0, and he was taken off Sebo after the injury, we needed to bring on Elisha Owusu again. It didn't make any sense. It was a terrible decision.
He was the one that will come.
At that point, what are you protecting? What are you protecting?
But see, that's
for the kill. I blame coaching. Carlos Queiroz is supposed to be an experienced manager who should know the profile of players after going more than a month with them or close to a month with them. And if he fails to understand that, I have an Augustin Boache, I have Bonsuba who can fit in at this point. How do you play 3 defensive-minded players? Fine, maybe Partey may be a deep line playmaker.
More of an 8.
How do you bring on Elisha Owusu again to come and fill in, and then later on he took off Caleb? One thing about Caleb is let's not forget he's young and he grew up in an environment that yields to attacking football, right to dream, nonchalant. So you put him in a system like this, he suffers because he would have to think that, I have to defend that. Is the reason why there are times he bursts forward even beyond our number 9 and our number 10. Because he's always looking at the progressive nature of football.
Anyone can burst forward ahead of our number 9. That one there. Anyone can burst forward ahead of our number 9.
So for me,
I have a lot to say.
So for me, it's
why we want to have
coaching.
their turn so that when everybody exhausts everything and probably you cover what I want to say, because I have a lot to say about this topic. A lot.
So if it's about coaching, I think they should do it. Prior to this tournament, there are times I say when you want to do something, you pick notes from the very best. I don't like Murat Yakin currently because of certain decisions he made pre-tournament and during their qualifiers. But when he came to the tournament and he realized, come on, things are not working for me. What do I do? Dan Ndoye, just go and sit on the bench. Who do I play? I play Johan Manzambi, not as my number 8, but as my number 10. And he's gotten results for them.
I think that run he made for that goal was amazing.
Thank you. Look at how he rescued them in their last game and then rescued them, in their round of 32.
Yeah.
The best coaches pick up notes and they make things work.
But
our coach decides to take over $100,000 monthly and gives us this shit performance, then we
Come
should
on,
we should
Kelvin,
we should be
come
we should be
on, come
thinking
on.
about
Dude.
we should be thinking
So,
about the likes of
context
Bubista.
context is very important, right? Here's what happened. He came into the team, or he was called to lead the team 50 plus days to the start of the tournament.
Kweku, I get where you are coming from in that sense. What Kelvin is pointing to is the game, just that game, his performance in that Colombia game.
So it didn't start from there. That's why I'm telling you that. Listen, he was given a pool of 55 players, right? And out of that 55 players, he had to select 26 for the World Cup. And there's a reason why the only player that was sort of an outlier was Augustin Boache. Out of the 26 that went to the World Cup, it was just Augustin Boache who was an outlier. And then we brought in Paul Reverson and Agbasi as goalkeepers to train with the squad.
Mhm.
I believe that he was hard done by the Desmond Fair and then the rest of the technical team, who perhaps didn't give him a good scouting report on all the players and didn't give him options, especially on the midfielders. Listen, our midfielders were very similar. We went into the World Cup with 4 central midfielders. We went with Thomas Partey, whose best position is as a 6. He's played his best football as a 6. And mind you, and then there's another conversation. I think we've seen Thomas Partey score hat-tricks for the Black Stars and all that, but I personally saw Thomas Partey's best performance for the Black Stars at this World Cup, and we can get into that later. We went with Thomas Partey, who's a number 6. Elisha Usu is a number 6. Kwesi Sibo is a number 6.
This was a 5.5.
Kwesi Sibo is a number 6. What's his name? Caleb Nji is a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
He's 20 years. He's inexperienced. He's never played in any of these sort of environments before.
And he was better than most.
Manzambi is 20 years. Manzambi is 20 years, please. Manzambi is also 20 years.
But you see, Manzambi is playing in a situation where he has Xhaka, he has Grealish, he has experienced people around him who have played at that level before. So we'll get there.
We have Jordan.
So now we'll get there. Partey has never played even in a knockout of a World Cup before, but we'll get to that conversation. Now, we go into that tournament, and whenever we need to make a midfield substitution, I'm worried because we don't have dynamism. We don't have players with different skill sets to come into the midfield and change the game. Calibrinci, looks to be like the future of the team and all of that, but he really isn't that dynamic midfielder that we have. He has an abundance of energy. He can crash the box and he can get about, but that's just about it. He's not a great passer of the ball. He's not a positional midfielder who basically control the game from where he plays. He doesn't have the complete skill set and talent, and I would even add intelligence of, Mike Clayson, who came from central defense to central midfield and then could also play as right back and in several other positions. Right? So you should understand the sort of players that we have. I used a certain terminology or like a phrase. I was like, we can't reap what we haven't sown. Our players were very limited in terms of their ability, in terms of their skill sets. And so whenever we were making changes to the team, we should also be cognizant of that and know what to expect, especially in midfield. In attack, we had people who could give us different things. But for me, I believe in midfield, we didn't have enough. Perhaps one sort of change that we could have done was to push Thomas Partey into an 8 position, have Elisha also sit. And we tried that actually against Colombia when Elisha also came on for Sibo. And then we pushed Thomas Partey forward because Thomas Partey could pick a pass. Thomas Partey could shoot. Let's not forget, he had the first shot of the game against Colombia. He could shoot as well. He could pick a pass as well. And he has that hubris around him to take charge of the ball, move it forward and push it into areas that others wouldn't even dare to do that. So we should be cognizant of the fact that we have issues in terms of even the profile of the player that we took to the World Cup. I saw that when the list came out, but I asked myself.
That's where I want to start from.
Yes, Kwame. Yes.
Selection.
Yes. Selection.
We have to go all the way back to selection.
That's it.
You guys, if you remember, we played a friendly match. One of the weirdest, strangest,
the Mexico game.
Mind-blowing. The Mexico game. Till this day, I've been sitting there and asking myself, what's the purpose of that
friendly game?
Can I quote Ketu Kriku? He said
Tell me.
he said it's for the Olympic team. Kelvin, isn't that what he said? He said it's
Yeah,
under 23.
he said this
And
was
you know,
a great opportunity for our
for the
Olympic
under
team to
23.
experience
And
the
do you know
best
the number
league
of
in
players
the
who are
What is the Olympic team doing playing a
Pause.
friendly match?
you wait. Do you know the number of
for?
players who were under 23 in that team? 5.
Bro, so
5.
I was about to do they think we're dumb or something? How many under 23 players were playing in that?
5.
But hold on here. I watched that game. I watched the entirety of that game because the build up to the World Cup was very important to me because see, me, I was scared. Me, this World Cup, I was expecting 5-0, 5-0, 5-0.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to I was expecting to get trashed. Ashimero stood out in that game. We have midfield issues. We all know we have midfield issues. And this is not somebody who is not experienced when it comes to the Black Stars. He's actually played at an AFCON. Yeah. I don't care whether he had issues during the course of the season, injury-wise. He was fit. He played well. He even captained that he was fit. He played well in that game. He
was recovering from an ACL.
So I was coming to that. We're talking about players who are recovering from ACLs. You took them to, and we are short in midfield, especially in terms of profiles. It comes back to the selection. Profiles. Kweku, you mentioned profiles. You need different profiles in different types of games. Why wasn't he selected? That's the first point.
It's a physical issue.
You can't tell me it's a physical issue when a lot of the players have either not had enough minutes or are coming off the back of long-term injuries.
I didn't agree with Myanmar going to the World Cup.
Exactly.
I didn't agree. I made my point clear
this is not a player who I'm saying Ashimero should come into this tournament and come and start. But we could clearly see in the Colombia game, second half, you need a profile like that who can actually play as a proper 8, carry the ball, pass the ball. 30 minutes. You're trying to tell me he can't play for 30 minutes at the world stage? Of course he can.
He could.
But I'll end by saying this. Football is not fair.
Let me add one player before you end. Ibrahim Suleimana should have gone to this World Cup.
I think
the reason why I say it's not fair is this. This issue that we are facing in terms of selection, it's
better than Elisha Ali's Kweku.
It's not just the Ghana problem. See, I live in Germany here. The coach has been sacked.
Yeah.
Nagelsmann. The commentary leading up to his sack, if you go through everything that has gone on over his tenure, you would think it's probably an African country that is going through crisis with their FA and everything. Selection issues, bias, selecting certain players played here and he goes to bring a 40-year-old Neuer. He's not trusting these players to play, blah, blah, blah. It goes on. It's not fair. When it comes to the national team, it's not fair. So when you mention a name like Augustin Boachi not getting minutes, he's not getting minutes because he's not part of the plan. He was never part of the plan from the first place. The only reason why he got into this team is
Kudus.
Everybody knew Kudus was injured. The whole world was saying, we need a profile like Kudus, and this guy, he has to play. Nobody at the FA would vouch for Augustin Boachi being a Black Stars player.
Nope.
And what are they going to tell this coach who comes in on short notice? You know what? We have a pool of 15, 16 players that I think you can rely on. That's what I'll say. If I'm an Ofei, if I'm a Ketu Kweku, I'll tell you the players that you can rely on. And because you have a short period of time, you're not going to look at the entire pool because you understand the politics of selection. You understand that boy who is in there is only in there because everybody's clamoring for him to be.
You are not even going to have the time to look at the players.
You're not looking
what time
at
are you
him.
going to use to get a player?
You're not looking at him. You are looking at that 15, 16 players that you have been advised are the ones you can rely on, and you try and churn the maximum that you can get out of those players. And I feel that's what the coach managed to do at the end of the day. He will sit down and go like he's satisfied with his work. If you tell him today that he should probably point out who Augustin Boachi is in the squad, he might even get confused as to who he is. He probably didn't even see him. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, there's some guys in the squad who are just there because, if we had almost everybody fit, Augustin Boachi doesn't even come close to the 50-man selection. He doesn't click to anybody at the FA. He's not part. And we all know why. There's an even bigger name in Joseph Pinto, who is in and out of the national team because of similar reasons that I don't deliberately want to mention, but we all know what I'm talking about here. So Augustin Boachi, as for him, he has to go and say a word of prayer. But certain people at the FA will probably have to shift before he gets into the national team. He's not
one of us.
The whole thing has to be overhauled. Yeah.
Kwame mentioned something I think is a nice segue into our next topic. The Giants have fallen. Germany are out. The Dutch are out. I think Kelvin put it nicely. The Dutch and the Deutsch are both out. Kwame,
Yeah.
you live in Germany. You've watched a lot of their games. What happened? Let's put it in a nutshell. What happened? What's the sort of like chatter around Germany now, and what next for the Diamannschaft?
It's been something that's been coming for. See, it's been the last time they won the World Cup was in Brazil,
2014.
2014.
2014. Every
The
other
famous
tournament
Camp Bahia.
has been horrible since. Horrible.
Mhm.
In fact, the German national team has gotten worse. Not for a lack of players. Let's not make that mistake.
Mhm.
There's the talent there. But the issue that they are having right now is more to do with coaching and administration when it comes to the national team. It's very similar to, it's quite similar to what we have. So like I draw a lot of comparisons, a lot of
Parallels,
parallels. Nagelsmann, for me, is one of the coaches that I have grown to dislike over the last 12 months because of my coverage of him when it comes to the national team.
Hipster sim.
Hipsterism, the arrogance. It's just a bit too much.
He
And-
never played, did he?
Nah.
He never played the
I
game, did
don't
he?
I don't know whether I just know he started coaching very, very young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he started
I
coaching
think-
very young.
I think I read a quote, and probably before you continue, I think I read a quote that he's perhaps the only manager with his backroom staff who never played the game. Together with his backroom staff, they never
Yeah,
played the
I
game.
think-
I think
Never.
that was mentioned. Yeah,
They are
I think that
data.
was
data.
mentioned.
It's too heavily reliant on data. But me growing up, I've never liked Germany. I've had to change for obvious reasons.
I'll take this part. I'll take that part out. Don't worry.
But I had to change for obvious reasons. The reason I despise them is because I used to despise them. I have to use the right words. It's
Mhm.
because they were heavily efficient. The German machine, like they always say there's this phrase, like two teams go and play football. At the end of the day, the Germans always win. Two teams always go and play penalty shootout. At the end of the day, the Germans always win. It's just a football
Yeah.
adage. It goes on.
Yeah.
The reason is we're not expecting the most beautiful of football.
Mm-mm.
But what they do is they're methodical, they are committed. I'm using the term committed because something went on, especially in this team, that I've never seen happen in the German team.
Right.
And they're efficient. Penalty shootout against Paraguay. Kimmich goes out to go and point out a few players who have to come and take a penalty kick.
Yeah, they said they won't.
And Goretzka shakes his head and says no. If this was in 1945 or 19 something, I guess we all know what happens.
You go to the wall.
How did we get here? That's a total disrespect for the boardroom staff, disrespect for the coach, because they have a plan. They always have a plan. They know who are the players who are going to take the kicks. But there was God's indiscipline. Look at the way this guy behaves. Our black man at the back, the one who plays for Real Madrid.
Tony Rudiger.
Rudiger. Sometimes I feel ashamed with the way he behaves because of my race. I feel like, calm down. I mean,
Relax. Yeah,
Relax.
you are doing too much.
you're doing a bit too much here. So there's so much going on in and around, all because they do not respect the technical heads. Woody Voller and all those guys who are running, the technical director of the national team, nobody respects them. And they've now become heavily dependent on these data coaches. That's the issue with German coaching right now. It's not a talent. It's never been a talent. When you watch the Bundesliga, every weekend I watch the Bundesliga, there is no defending.
They are always
People, there's
running
no
around.
defending.
They are always running around.
Everybody's just
They are
attacking.
always
Why do you think Bayern Munich score 5 6?
running.
No team is playing this tactical game to try and stop.
Do you know
from
who I
scoring.
blame?
Pep
Do you know who
Guardiola,
I
of course.
blame?
It's Pep. Everybody
Pep
traces all
Guardiola
the way back
and
to
the
Pep.
RB Leipzig people. The RB Leipzig group.
Everything has become so data driven and so
They-
less
they
off
brought
attack
in
and less
all-
attack.
Oh
The
my
coaching
goodness.
is now dross. So now they are trying to spin all the way back to an old head in Jurgen Klopp, which I completely agree with. Sometimes just go back to the old guys. Not these hipsters. Me, Kweku, you know my issue with hipsters. It's like they're trying to reinvent the wheel. Football is a simple game. You just have to add 1 or 2 touches and common sense. But these people are stealing a living by trying to reinvent something, sell it, make a lot of. Do you know how much compensation Nagelsmann has had over the past
Oh my
24
gosh.
months?
He's a
30
millionaire.
million euros from Bayern Munich, 7 million euros from the German FA, 37 million euros for what work?
Mhm.
But this is what they do now. Young people have been able to devise something, they sell it. It's a product. They sell it.
Packaging.
Is the
Packaging.
data?
Oh, thank you.
I
This is
you know I
thank
put it.
you,
I
man. Ghana.
said
This
it
is the
here.
You know where packaging originated from?
Where?
Isn't a country now? We package everything for
They've
you.
packaged themselves
Everything we
and
package
they are
it for
selling
you.
this product and people are buying it and paying so much money for it because it looks fancy.
It's
It
the
looks fancy.
the data people who they found a way
Data.
to make a living out of nonsense.
Why are you playing Kimmich at right back? Make it make sense to me. Like, I'm watching, I'm like, why is he playing at right back? I'm like, why is he playing at right back? It doesn't
Toni
make any
Kroos
sense.
made
that
this
position
complaint.
for so long.
Toni Kroos was unhappy
But
with
what are you
this.
trying to prove? Martinez, the Portugal coach, you are playing Neves,
Another.
Joao Neves at right
Another.
back in the Nations League. Like, what are you
Another.
doing? What's all this? Why? What are you trying to
I want to
reinvent?
create superiority here so that they overload here, and so when I play there, hey,
It's a lie. See, it be format.
see,
It be format. They're making money
see,
out of
you
it.
see, you are speaking like me. See, Kwame.
And unfortunately, that's German football now. All the coaches are young. The
Oh,
old
yeah.
ones are the
Oh,
ones
yeah.
leaving the league to go and the Austrian and
pushing
German
them out.
coaches
They are pushing
they're
them
pushing
out.
them out.
They are
And then
pushing
the
them
young
out.
coaches are taking over. Data has taken over.
There is a
and everything
term.
is so.
There's a term that I despise so much. You know the terminology, modern football. What the hell do you mean by
Jesus
modern football? I've maintained that so far as football is at the end of the day, right, it's determined by who scores more. The game hasn't changed. There's nothing new. When people talk about half space and things, I'm like, do you know the position Zico and those players were playing? Yuri Jokayev, do you know the position he was playing? They were all playing in the half space. Maradona, they were all playing in half space. You people are now using terminologies.
Oh,
There's
a group of people for that.
Do you know what he was playing? He was playing in half
tacticals. They too are making a living. What is happening?
I promise you.
So, the German thing is very simple. They should just go back, work themselves
back to who you are.
Remind yourselves of who you are. Dear Mineshaft, it's not about these fancy things anymore.
Well-oiled machine,
let's
efficiency
go back
in
to
execution.
Bundeswehr, military style. We are efficient.
That's it.
We are
well-oiled
efficient.
machine.
We are all well-oiled. We are focused. When we come to beat the odds. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
I like this from you, Kwame. Kusokwaku, let's get on.
Morocco and Egypt, they are making us proud, right? Africa, I think,
Africa.
They are making.
They'll tell you they are not Africans. You know the competition. You know the
Senegal
competition
has let us down.
You know that.
So that's why I want us to go now. Let's discuss. Papi Thiaw, Senegal, and look, Africa. 9 teams out of 10 qualified to the round of 32. Unfortunately, what's 2 out of 9? What's the percentage now?
That points exactly to my statement in the beginning when I said that. What do you call it? The qualification was easier because third place teams could qualify. How many African teams were third placed that qualified?
No, but you see, Mangana, my pushback is that they don't make the rules right. The rules were made for them, and then we took advantage of it.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying
the fact that the teacher reduces the pass mark to 40, and I decide to write and get my 40 and pass. Doesn't mean I'm a failure.
But even further pushback, Mangana. 5 out of those 9 play second.
Play second, actually.
Good. 5 out of those 9 play second.
Ghana had qualified by the second game. Goes back to Kweku's point. If probably we needed a point to finish second, we could have easily been one of the 9 teams that finished second.
We still have had this terrible display.
I don't think 2 teams qualifying for the round of 16 is actually as bad as people are trying to make.
I'm not saying the 2 teams qualifying. I'm not saying the 2 teams qualifying is the problem. I'm just saying that when you have when the third place teams qualify, and you have about 4 of the teams coming from Africa that qualified through the third place, that will tell you that they may not necessarily be on the same level as, because they're going to face those who were first in their groups. So you are more likely to go out in the next round.
So let's add nuance and context.
It's a fair point, but we are talking about over 50% of the teams that qualified to the round of 32. Over 50% being second place teams. The third place thing is like, it's the tournament rules. I mean, if I have opportunity to finish third and qualify, I can't.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have qualified. I'm just saying that it is expected that once those who
When you say it's expected, how many Asian teams
made
it to this stage?
Made it to the
all of them are
stage. 0.
All of them are off.
Of course. Japan.
Have
Where?
they qualified for the
Where
round
Japan?
of
I'm
16?
talking about like the round of 32. They
No,
qualified.
I'm talking about round of 16 is zero.
Ah,
like
but
zero.
where?
Zero,
Yeah, round of
yeah.
From
16,
the
they
beginning, they had
didn't
9.
make it.
They had 9
yeah.
teams in the tournament. They
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
zero.
And they had only
I think
2
it's-
in the
yeah.
round of no, they had only 1 in the
Exactly,
round
so-
of 32. They had only 1
No,
in
They
the
also
round
had
of
the same
Australia.
third place
Two.
rules. They
Two
also had the
Australia.
the same third
Australia,
place.
Australia and
Australia
Asia
is also
them.
Australia
They
is
also had the
in
same
there,
third
Asia.
place thing they could have qualified from, but they
Yeah.
didn't qualify. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's for the credit. They don't take it
So,
from us.
so
The
quick
issue
one,
is
right?
we have only 2 out of a billion in the round
9.
of 16. To me, it's not bad. You
For
get
me-
it's not bad.
It's
Kwame,
never,
Kwame,
it's
for
never
me,
bad.
right?
Kwaku, now to you,
I
yeah.
wanted 3 out of the 9 to
You
qualify.
wanted a black African team to join. Like, oh,
That
it's
is the
just
truth.
pain. You're just in
No,
pain.
Kwaku, I think coming to the
No,
Senegal
no.
issue, I think
Yes,
it
yes.
was purely
Senegal,
tactical.
Cote d'Ivoire.
It was pure,
Senegal,
for Senegal. It was purely tactical, and do I say if someone would say
I
technical
will change
ability
the word. I will
of
change the
Pape
word.
Thiaw?
I will
Kelvin, has he
change the
been
word.
sacked?
Yet,
No,
I don't think
not
so.
yet.
He will be sacked eventually. He has to be sacked.
So I'll change the word. I won't call it tactical. I'll call it inexperience and exuberance. He was too excited because
So
there's no reason
exuberance,
why at this.
exuberance probably, but inexperience, I won't go with that.
I mean, he hasn't
Coach-
coached at the World Cup before, has he?
Oh, but
Right,
has
he hasn't-
Mr. Coach at the World Cup before?
I mean, numbers
Okay,
matter. Let me get
it's
there.
the exuberance
It's a
and the
valid
ego,
point.
like Kwame
Yeah,
spoke
ego.
about
It's the
ego.
about
It's the
Nagelsmann.
ego.
It's
So-
the
so
same
you may
thing with
not-
Pape Thiaw. If you know him so well, it's the reason why Pape Gay
Full
is
of
telling
himself.
him that. Yes, look at
He
him
figure.
after the
We were-
AFCON. After
Thank
the
you.
AFCON misbehavior.
I blame
He
all
thinks-
of you
he
here.
thinks-
Let me.
yes,
I'm attacking you. Man, all of you. You people were defending this foolishness from Senegal. Foolishness. Because this is what we are used to. We're all defending foolishness. And this guy takes us to the World Cup.
No,
Me, I'm an
I actually
outcomes
believe
guy.
that. I said it wasn't right for them to have walked
Mangana
off
was
the pitch.
against it. Yeah, Mangana
Yeah, I
was
said
against
it
it.
wasn't right for them to
Have
have
we
walked off the
ever
pitch.
seen such a thing in our lives before where a team decides to walk off for the entire? Is this Ghana Premier League? Is this Ghana? I was watching
So
the
this-
AFCON. I was like, what is happening here? Like,
Yeah.
you walked off a pitch
Yeah.
in an international game because a penalty has been awarded against you. That is just
Yeah.
criminal.
Yes, it
The
is.
game
But
shouldn't even
So
work.
Kwaku,
personally-
Kwaku, I think that they lost the game. They lost the game from the bench, and
yes,
I
yes,
think-
I
yes.
think yes.
if
he
you are
killed
leading
them.
2-0 as at the 86th minute, and I always say it, our team may be as terrible as, but when it comes to game management, when you are leading a game,
Yes, we could
it
see
was
it
quite
though.
surprising how he decided to make those. A team is making substitution to bring Thomas Meunier on. What is the coach telling you? He's only going to cross the ball. So who do you need? You need someone with a physical presence and aerial ability. You had Mamadou Sarr on the bench from Chelsea. Kalidou Koulibaly, fine, you bench him throughout. But at this moment, when Lukaku came on, you needed someone to
You know that big
deal
body.
with him with the physical battles. And he watched
so-
on, and he was bringing on that was the time he was bringing on his fanciful players to come and misbehave on the pitch. And
For me-
eventually,
for-
he got served with it. He just
Yeah,
got served
yeah.
for his tactical ineptitude in managing the game.
Can I add something? It takes us back to my Amorim thing.
Yeah.
You see, these coaches, we're hearing a lot of noise around Senegal, especially after their second game. A whole list came out of the issues that were going on.
Ongoing, yeah.
And you could tell from the issues that there were issues with, player selection, even from the start.
Yes.
Then, when it came to the tournament, there was also issues with the players he was also selecting, even for the games,
Yeah.
which a
Yes.
lot of the players were not happy about.
Mhm.
Then there's the FA.
Pap guy said he's not
Yeah,
playing.
then
if
there's
they-
the
they are still
FA
in there.
administrative staff and not paying their bonus. That's what I want. I don't complain about those things when it comes to African teams. It's normal.
It's normal.
For all you
Yeah.
know,
You'll be
Morocco,
lucky to be
they're
paid.
not even paying them.
You'll be lucky to be paid.
So those things I don't care. But when it comes to player selection, squad management, blah, 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 that's where I have serious issues. But these young coaches, and I come back to the Amorim thing. Amorim coached a certain game against Wolves at Old Trafford. Before then, we played against Newcastle. He switched to back four, and then we won that game 1-0. And then everybody was going like, you know what? Wilcox, all these guys are saying, you have to change now. It was around December, just before your sack.
And he
But
went
he
back to-
reverted surprisingly. And then the news that came out after we had drawn that Wolves game was that On the training ground, he was even training them in a back four. But that day, everybody was surprised that he had reverted back to a back
He
three.
said, psych.
And then the people at the top were like, what the heck? What is happening here? Like, what's happening? We have to have a discussion about this. But this is the point he wanted to put. Even in that game, within that game, he wanted to desperately win with the back three against Wolves because they're the bottom place team, the worst team in the league, just to prove a point that it is not about the formation.
System, yeah.
Yes.
It is about, like, my method can work. The Senegal coach, all he was trying to prove that day, by bringing on those kind of players, was that the players that you people are saying that, oh, they shouldn't be playing, I shouldn't trust them, I should go to this, they can win me the football game. They can be part of this process. It's ego. It comes down to ego. It is your ego. You're battling against your own self. Stop it. Sometimes use common sense. Those are not the players to come on at that particular point in time. The game looked easy. The game looked easy.
Way
It
too
was
easy.
the
Way
easiest,
too
it
easy.
was
The
the
game-
easiest
the game
fixture
looked
that anyone could get.
So if he brings on those guys and does things his way and comes out with the results, it
Then
vindicates
you won't
not
question
just
him. Yeah.
thank you very much. You will not question my decisions. What are you doing here? This is the bloody World Cup.
Yeah.
Win
Kwame,
the game and go on.
Kwame, I want your opinion on this. What do you call it? So for me, throughout all the African teams that went to the World Cup and those that qualified, the team that I really liked because I liked how they play, and I always knew their problem was they don't finish their chances, is Cote d'Ivoire. What do you think about their team in terms of the players that they have, and what do you think they could have done better? Because I felt like in every game that they even lost, they could have won.
I don't think they could have done anything better. They just had the African team disease where you don't see out games. Like as for DS, there was nothing wrong with any performance for me.
They played so well.
You could say even against
Germany, the one they even lost
the
2-1.
first game they lost was they
won against Ecuador 1-0.
It was the Germany game was the first one they lost.
The Ecuador game, arguably, I'd say they deserve to lose.
They
They
didn't
played
start
okay,
well.
but Ecuador was the better team. Ecuador
Team,
had so many chances. And in the last minute, Amad Diallo won the game.
Yeah.
But the game against Germany, there was
They should have
no
won.
way they should have lost that game. The African disease thing is either you're putting the game away when you have to put the game away, or you see the game out. Like a Chorus team can actually see a game out. I'm impressed with Carlos Queiroz defensive way. If Carlos Queiroz was managing Ivory Coast in those circumstances,
In those
you would have seen the
They will
game
be in the
out.
round
Yeah.
of 16.
In those
You will
situations,
see
They
the
will be in
game
the round
out.
of
Like
16.
you will see the game out.
In fact, if he had the squad, he would
The
be
squad
in
you
the
see-
round of
would
16.
have
yes.
seen the game out.
And you see, the Ivorian team is so stuck with quality individually.
Individually, they are so
You
good.
wouldn't have to do too much, and there are players playing at top level, performing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you didn't have to do too much to see our game. So if Carlos Queiroz had
They should
this
have
team,
seen the
trust you
game
me,
out.
he
They
could
should
have
seen
got
those
into
games
the
out.
Do
quarters.
you know
or
what
the
I've been
semis.
doing in the last couple of days? I've actually been looking for like research papers
Between
that
them and
talks
Senegal, which
about
team is more disappointing? Ivory Coast or
Ivory Coast disappointed me
Senegal.
more.
Senegal.
Senegal.
Senegal is more
Ivory
disappointing.
Coast
Senegal.
disappointed me more because
How?
look, I think all the African
You-
teams here.
Mangana, you said Senegal would go
No, I said
farthest.
Senegal will go farthest. Yeah,
So how-
just because like you forget that when I said Senegal will go farthest, like the team I like is Ivory Coast. The reason why I like them is all players on the pitch. You can't take the ball off them. Every single player on the pitch, you have to foul them to take the ball off them. Like they are so good on the ball.
I
They
think
should
it's
be playing better.
circumstantial. Where you consider the manner of which Senegal were ousted, you kind of feel like, come on,
Like,
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you were there, 2-0.
Yeah.
if you
They
see,
should have-
if you see,
Belgium
And
was
it's
the-
not
I
just
think
it's
Belgium-
not
I
just
think Belgium
any
was the
2-0.
worst.
2-0
think Belgium-
as at 85 minutes.
And you're
I think
comfortable.
Belgium,
You're
I think
comfortable.
Belgium was one of the worst
Uh,
top teams, one of the worst supposed top teams to get into the round of 32. Like they had the best fixture to progress,
to allow Rudy
And they
Garcia
still-
to say that
and they
nonsense about us, but it
and
is
they
what
still
it is.
managed to find a way to lose. Like
But-
they
that's the
stole
thing.
defeat from the jaws
they-
of victory.
They,
This was the worst
No.
Belgian team we had ever seen. They looked so
It's Senegal.
helpless.
it's
And
They
with
were
the
so
manager-
slow, like
It's
And with the
Senegal.
manager, who was who couldn't even read and understand. All what he had to do was just bring on Lukaku to come on and cause chaos. Bring on Thomas
Yeah.
Meunier, and they
Like,
were
even
floating in
Lukaku,
the
you
ball.
could tell that-
And
you could tell
eventually
that
they
Lukaku
made the
is past
mistakes.
it.
Lukaku is finished,
You could tell he was past it,
and
but
he's killing you.
and he's
But because of experience and all that. But guys, quickly, we need to move on to the round of 16. It's getting hotter and hotter. I think some interesting fixtures, will be coming up. I'll run through and then, each one of you will pick, a game and then or two, and then we take a look at it. So the first game, France, Paraguay, France, Canada,
be a-
Morocco,
To be a big team.
Canada, Morocco.
Allez, bleus.
Allez,
Yeah.
bleus.
If you
Yeah,
better use
vive
this
le France.
election, that is what election will look like.
They are playing down here in
Portugal, Spain.
Philadelphia. They are playing in Philadelphia
So
in
let's.
a
I
couple of
want us to
hours.
slash. I want us to slash some of the games out because that one we can easily do predict and then we'll focus on the games that we think we should actually look at. Okay, so let's start. Switzerland, Colombia. Who gets in?
That would be a tough game because one thing about Switzerland is what they do is they qualify for the group stages and then they go out in the knockout stages. Consistently, they've qualified for World Cup after World Cup after World Cup, and that's how they go out. This Colombia team, like watching the games they've played, yes, they are still this aggressive South American team, but then they don't look potent enough if Luis Diaz doesn't have a game. So I think Switzerland has a chance, but I would expect Colombia to get over the line.
Well, I expect Colombia to get over the line. Kweku, let me give you this: Belgium and then USA.
I disagree, manga.
All right,
Charlie, the South American teams, they can't. When they face the European powerhouses, it's a bit tricky for them at the world stage.
But Kwame, the
Yeah.
weather
they are
plays a
playing
huge
in
role
America,
now.
and every time
The
they
weather
play a
plays a
World
huge
Cup on
role.
this side, the South American team wins.
Well, the weather plays a
well.
huge role, but I mean Belgium, USA. I'm backing the US. They are missing Flo Balogun, and I think it's going to be a huge blow because
Fularin,
Thoughts
I
on that
think-
red card?
it's not.
think-
If
I
you're
think
not
it was
going
too
to
harsh.
call,
It was too
if you're
harsh.
not going to call the one,
So
if you're not going to call the
unfair.
one on Messi, you're not going to call the several
so
stumps that
unfair.
have happened in this
so
World Cup,
unfair.
and then you give a red card for this one.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't think he should have been sent off for that. But
And like
It's
they
okay.
pick and choose, they pick and choose which things to
but then
review.
again, was he?
No.
Did he endanger his opponent?
It's
Yes.
a danger. That's what I'm saying. It's a
But was
dangerous
it-
tackle,
It
and
was
Exactly.
yes, if you're going to red card him, then you should have red carded because that tackle has happened about 3 or 4 times.
So that's what I'm
and he's
saying.
not reviewed any
I'm
of them.
coming
The
from- I'm coming from an emotional point.
The mistake is not sending him off.
It's the
that was the
application
right
of the
decision.
rule.
No,
Yeah,
the
it
right,
is.
the absolute right decision was it's a red card.
Mhm.
But others should have been red cards too.
And that's exactly
But the
what I'm
point is
saying.
this: no. What you're saying is the complete opposite. What you're saying is he shouldn't have been sent off because others were not sent off.
Yeah, I'm not saying if you've made your decision, because it's like they've made a
It's
deliberate
a
decision not to.
textbook red card. It's like a textbook red card. He almost broke the guy's ankle for Christ's sake.
Ankle. Yeah.
Have you seen the images back? Like if
No,
forget about
I
forget
saw
about
I saw
slow
him
motions.
stamping and his leg turning. Like I've seen it.
the leg turned.
Yeah. It was literally like flat on the ground with the ankle flat on the
And
ground.
that rule is actually these rules, right? These
Mhm.
very stern rules are made to protect players like Balogun himself, the star
Yeah.
players. That's why they made these strict rules where like a red card because these are the
Because
players that
normally it's
suffer
what a
those.
defender will put on a striker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's to protect them, right? But unfortunately, he was the one dishing it. It doesn't matter when people say, "Oh, it wasn't intentional." This is what I say to them. You think everybody intentionally commits a penalty?
That's what.
Like,
Yeah.
am I intentionally bringing somebody else down for it to be a penalty? Do I intentionally always handball or stretch out my hand? It doesn't
Un-
have to
no.
be intentional.
unless it's
It
a
has
retire
to.
on.
You
to-
go
to-
all
to
the way
move in.
down the rules to the parts
Mhm.
where does it endanger the opponent?
Yeah.
The reason I'm talking about this extensively is I've seen the Americans go. You know, Americans they don't
Oh, of
follow
course.
sports.
No,
so
I mean,
But now, this is the thing. They're like,
Yeah,
they don't
they're
get
locked
it.
in,
Like,
so yeah.
they're locked in. So like, and they're beating FIFA with this thing. I'm like, the rule is so simple in my head
Yeah,
that I don't
yeah.
understand why there's even a back and
Mm.
forth.
and
That was
that's my
dangerous
problem.
foul
My problem
play.
is if you have decided not
Dangerous
to
foul
apply
play.
it,
That's what they
Yeah.
call it.
if
Dangerous
you have
foul play.
decided not to apply
dangerous
the
foul
rule,
play.
if you've made a deliberate decision not to apply the rule, and then
Marcus,
you
so
wait
wrap
and
it-
you pick
wrap it
and
up.
choose when to apply it.
Yeah. I mean,
Belgium-
Belgium, USA. I expect the US to beat Belgium. I think they
Mhm.
can beat them. I think they should beat them.
They
Belgium,
need to beat them.
Belgium haven't been great this tournament. They've been very
Yeah.
poor. Even their top players, they expected Doku to be very electrifying at this tournament. He has not been electrifying. I think that
Sorry, I have to chip this here. Did you have an issue with him leaving and coming back?
I was so
No,
annoyed when
no.
they had an issue with that.
No,
I
not
was
at
so
all.
annoyed when they had an
Mm.
issue. I'm like,
See,
What ball do you people even play that US?
What's the World Cup means? It's like everybody has something to say.
It's crazy.
like,
The life.
but then again,
you put football before life. Yeah.
it's a black
So
man in
hold on,
these
hold on.
circumstances.
If someone had to leave because a family member had died, what's the difference?
That's the difference. Even death that
Well,
we can't
that's the
do anything
difference.
about.
There is no
That
argument.
is something.
It shouldn't have even been mentioned. It shouldn't have been a news item.
Exactly.
Yeah,
At all.
not at all.
Alex Ferguson allowed Cristiano Ronaldo to leave when we had a Champions League game against AC Milan at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Because it's that. Like,
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like those things are like.
It affects the players.
Why are
on
we
the
talking
pitch,
about
you
it?
see it on the pitch.
And
If the player is not
for
even
me,
on the pitch.
I'm not
Did you
one.
see Didier Deschamps?
every-
Didier Deschamps left France to go
Yeah,
and
yeah,
bury
to
his
go and
family.
Everybody
bury.
talked about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
So
one player, I'm
the-
trying to get the name. One player scored. Was it the Netherlands? One player scored and
Cody
he had
Gakpo.
lost the baby.
Gakpo.
Oli
Gakpo
Gakpo.
Yeah.
lost the
Gakpo.
baby because he was also away.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when
Yeah.
someone leaves, I don't know. Now I'm sure it might have clicked to them that, oh, come on,
Yeah.
someone didn't go, lost the baby. One went and has the baby.
Yeah.
We welcomed the
That's
life,
what I'm saying.
and we lost
It's
the life
for me,
because we did not
life
make
and
it.
death here.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys, and everyone who knows me knows that I'm a big Mourinho fan. I always say he's my mentor, whatever. But one of the few times that I disagreed with Mourinho was in 2018 during the preseason when Anthony Martial had to fly from the US to also be with his partner for the birth of his first
Yeah.
child. And Mourinho made an issue out of it. And I at the
No
time I
cry,
thought
no
he
cry.
was
The
wrong.
preseason or training,
It was preseason.
Oh.
And
Was it a preseason thing?
preseason, yeah, it was a preseason thing. I thought it was needless. I was like, I feel he perhaps had issues with him, and then he just made
That's
this
what I
the
was
main
getting
topic.
to.
Yeah.
The thing with Martial started from the very time Jose Mourinho took the job. You know, when he wanted to switch the jersey from
Ibrahimovic.
Yep.
Ibrahimovic.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he got off on a bad note with the boy from the very beginning. And the boy
Yeah.
too, in Massam no net also. So to
Yeah,
come and
yeah,
tell me
yeah.
one of the girls is giving birth is
One
like,
of them.
so
one
so
of
what
them.
if the other girl is giving birth?
One of the
You
few
sometimes have to
times
look at
I
it from
disagree
both
with
sides.
Josie.
You have to look at it from both sides.
Yeah, but
So
the
the boy was acting weird.
No, yeah, but the thing was, Mourinho shouldn't have. Yeah, you can make an issue with it with the player in the
See,
dressing room. You don't
see,
come out and then say it.
See, Doku, it was his wife.
What is
Anthony
wife?
Martial,
I couldn't pay.
girl, and all it's one girl.
The side check back.
Next week you come and tell you another chick is
Another
getting.
girl.
What are you talking about?
As long as it is a child.
You go for a
Kelvin,
USA win.
I'm going for the US. I expect Captain America to be the star of the game. And listen, how about Malik Tillman? Malik
been
Tillman
very
has
good,
been
yeah.
amazing for them, together with Weston McKinney. The issue that they have is with the central defense between Tim Ream
Richards.
and Richards. They haven't
Don't have
really
any options,
been
Gogo.
solid at the
Don't
back
have any
for me.
option.
They really don't.
Yeah,
I
mean,
think-
Richards also coming off an injury. Like I think it was a long-term injury. He didn't play a lot of games in the second half of the season because he
Getting
was
to the
injured,
end of the season. I expect the US to qualify. I think they've been
Okay.
good. Pochettino has done a very good job with the team.
He's done an impressive job.
Yes. I think when you watch them play and how they've managed games, especially when they went down to 10 men.
FIFA also
The-
has done their thing and assisted with their groups and how they are plotting their
Come
part
on,
nicely
guys.
as well.
Oh, come on.
Oh, they
Come
did not
on,
plot the
guys.
path. The
Come on.
path was just the path had
your
already
group.
been decided. Come
Canada,
on.
what
If
happened
your
with
group went
Canada?
say-
When
Yeah.
Canada didn't top their group, they had to move to the US. Top
Yeah,
your
They
group.
failed.
Yeah.
So come
No,
on,
no,
this
no.
one, FIFA haven't done anything.
Any
It's the
other
same thing
group,
people
Canada- any other
are
group,
saying
Canada
about
goes out.
Argentina. No.
Any
The
other
man
group,
Ghana, this
Canada
one
goes
there.
out.
Okay, well,
This one nobody will
Argentina.
agree with you.
Is it?
Argentina.
Oh, me, I always say for tournaments like this, anytime there are 50-50 decisions, if you are not the teams that they expect to go for,
We are talking
expect
about
that you're
their
not going to
path.
get
We are
those
talking
things.
about their path.
about their path.
Anyway,
Yes, it's not.
Calvin, we
Look,
should
they did
go on
not
to the
make it.
next game.
The rules were late.
Argentina has a good enough team that they will get through. But
The Americans did their job. They
ask
took
Kweku.
their group.
I picked them to top the group. Ask Kweku.
All right,
I picked them to
all
top
right,
their group.
all right,
Ask
Kwame,
Kweku.
because you
Kweku,
spoke
did I not
about
pick them to top their group?
Kwame, because you spoke about Argentina. Argentina.
If you don't give me England, me, I won't talk about any other team. I'm
You have
sorry.
to
don't worry,
give me
we'll come to that.
England,
You know, the England, Mexico,
I believe
and
it.
then the England, Mexico, and then the Spain, Portugal games are the games that I want all of us to actually discuss. I just want us to
Okay,
brush
great.
these ones off.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
Argentina, Egypt.
Argentina, Egypt. Oh, Argentina
Oh,
straight away.
Chairman,
It's
come
not-
on.
Argentina-
it's not
Argentina
going to be
makes
I
a-
think Egypt have done enough already. They qualified out of the group for the
Egypt
first
have
time, right?
achieved what they wanted to achieve
And then
in the
they've
World
gone a
Cup.
step
Yeah.
All right.
further. And
Yeah.
Prior to this
So they
tournament, they
they
have
should
never
go home.
won a World
They
Cup
have never
game.
gone out of the group
Yeah.
stages.
never
They've
won
never
a
won a
game.
World
And
Cup
World Cup
game.
Never won a game.
So
Yeah.
Never qualified.
they are in ecstasy.
They've
And
overachieved.
I think
They
they
should
made
go
it
home.
too
Yeah.
hard on themselves against Australia. I think they should have been able to win that game in stipulation time.
Mamouche was the problem. That's why Pep didn't play it again. How can you get that chance? You should have ended the game.
Anyway,
Well, I
tell
think
them.
Penalty
I'll
shootouts.
take the Canada Morocco game. I think that it should be the end of the road for Canada.
It will also
Morocco
be
should continue.
a beating.
I think
It will also
Morocco
be
should
a beating.
continue. They should just finish these Canadians. Now I don't know this game. France Paraguay. We've already spoken about. The French should be able to dispatch them.
I said, if you've never
With
seen a lynching, this is what a lynching
much-
will look like.
too much quality. So I expect France to just sail through. Now this game, I was speaking about two games, but I think this is also a game to consider. Brazil, Norway. You can never stop talking about Carlo Ancelotti and then the Brazilian team and the Norwegians. Yes, but Kwame, do you think this should be the end of the road for Norway, or Brazil don't have what it takes to get past them?
No, Brazil. See, I Carlo Ancelotti. Since I hate hipsters, you can imagine the kind
I
of
love
coaches I like.
the love you have for Carlo.
Of course.
Common sense coaches.
My brother.
Yeah,
There is no need for you to be.
Football is simple.
complicated.
Score more goals, go concede less.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think
You have to be calm.
Mhm.
You know, on the
That's
touchline,
it.
read
That's
the
it.
situation.
Don't be overly animated.
Don't be
I-
overly animated.
Ah,
I
It's
think
not about a certain type of football.
Mhm.
Tammy, if they are pressing you,
It's
go
about
long.
getting a certain type of result.
That's it.
Like Brazil, this is the first foreign manager that Brazil is employing in their
Yeah.
history.
yeah,
Yeah.
They don't do that.
They don't do that.
They
yeah.
don't do that. But for them to choose Carlo Ancelotti, they went
And
for
even
the
extend his
absolute
contract.
best.
Yeah.
yes.
Absolute best. Because if you are going to do that, if you are going to go against what we typically do, then we have to go for the best. And Brazil have not been doing well for a long time,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to World Cups.
Yeah.
They have the most World Cups, but the last time that they won was
2002.
We're talking about, God, do the math. It's like
24 years.
24
24.
years.
It's ridiculous.
24 years.
This is not the best Brazilian team ever. When I look at them on paper, especially at fullback,
Mhm.
it kills my heart that somebody like Danilo still plays for the national team. I don't even know the name of the other fullback, and I don't
Andre
care to know.
Santos.
But I'm just like, this is not Brazil. The Brazil I know, you have forget about the old Cafus and the rest. People will say we are too old
Yeah,
to be exposing our ages.
that was actually what I was
Dani
going to
Alves.
say.
Talk about
Dani Alves.
Dani
Yeah.
Alves.
Dani
You know
Alves.
Nani say? Like you have, but this is not that team. But what they have is a coach who can manage a football team.
Who can manage
Yeah.
the kind of players
They
we
manage
have to be
good
like,
fo-
yeah,
good
play
fo-
that.
fo- football players. That central midfield, I say, cannot beat France. It can't beat any top European powerhouse. The
They
reason is
run through them.
Casemiro's legs are. It's a Manchester United thing. We know Casemiro's legs are gone. But I know that when it gets to that time,
He'll head
Carlo
the ball into
Ancelotti
the
will
net.
change. No, he will change something different.
Mhm.
That goals thing that Casemiro is doing, forget about it though. He's not making up for the actual job that he's supposed to.
Do it.
He did a
Yeah.
terrible job in midfield. He's horrible.
Mhm.
He's horrible. But what I know is when it gets there, and then Carlo Ancelotti has to do something to change the midfield dynamic. He's not going to be stubborn about it. I'm screaming this loudly. He's not going to be stubborn. This coach will read the game and go like, I have to change something in midfield.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
ace that Brazil has is their coach. So up against any opposition, they have a chance. But against Norway, they're favorites.
Yeah, they are
The
favorites.
Norwegian team has specks of good players.
You know, I picked
know,
them as my dark horses for the
They have
tournament.
they have the Sanderberg, they have
Mhm.
your
Orsens,
Odegaard.
the name
Odegaard,
Odegaard.
Yeah.
You can point to
Nusa.
like there's like
Nusa.
there's this
Yeah,
year,
Nusa
there's-
was very
even
good
have
in their
shot
last
up
game.
on the
Yeah.
bench.
and then they have a killer up front. That's just it. Like they have somebody who can
They have
actually
a
finish
beast.
off chances. He doesn't even need to touch the football.
He doesn't need to
But-
play activities.
But the thing I saw about Brazil that made me feel like they can actually go far in this tournament is they came up against a very organized Japanese side, a tricky
Yeah.
Japanese side that can kick out anybody. Japan knocked out Spain in the last World Cup, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. They did.
Yeah.
Morocco did.
Was it Morocco?
Penalties. Remember the Panenka
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Or was it the
Hakimi.
group stage that they beat Spain?
was the group stage. That's when they beat
Yeah,
them
group
2-1.
stage.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Group
they
stage
beat
2-1.
the group stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in that second half, you could see a change in gear. That's what I want to see from top teams who have the ability to step up to another level.
Yeah. And I
Right.
think
And
they,
the
they
level-
realize that, we are taller than them. We can put the ball in
The level
area.
change, the level change that Brazil showed in that second half was incredible. They were all over Japan.
But
And I'm like,
I was shocked about Brazil in that game because, like,
yeah, because up until
physically,
then,
you're talking about why does it have to take you the whole half to put the ball in the
no. The thing is, some people will not figure it out. Some coaches will not figure. And up until then, Brazil had not been impressive. Forget about that
Yeah.
Scotland win. That's Scotland. That shit. They're awful.
Scotland,
They just have the best fans in the world.
Yeah,
for
they are
the
the best
vibes,
fans in the
but
world. Yeah,
they are
for
not
the
great.
vibes.
But that level change in that second half, when, like, you know what, he's getting Vinicius playing his best football again, because Vinicius has only played his best football under Carlo Ancelotti, not under any other manager ever. Not for Brazil, not for Real Madrid.
Not for
He's
Zidane.
lost, but he gets back playing under Carlo Ancelotti, and he looks like a main man again. Because up until
Close
then,
mate, yeah.
Rafinha and Vinicius had not been those guys for Brazil. The Brazilians they can't seem to shoulder the burden of wearing the Brazil jersey. All of a sudden, Vinicius looks like a main man, like he's carrying Brazil to the World Cup. And once Brazil have a main man, they can beat anybody. They can actually beat anybody. Against Norway, I don't think they would look at Norway and think Norway is the team to stop us. Brazil has the teams to stop them. The traditional powerhouses. Norway is not one, so I expect Brazil to win.
Well,
Agree.
Kwaku, sorry, you have any thoughts before I get back to?
I expect Brazil to win, but I think Haaland would get a goal.
Haaland will get a
It's
goal.
it's for the betting men.
Yes,
That's what
please. If you are listening, the odds.
Investors.
Haaland to score.
I think Haaland will
All
get
right.
a goal. I think Haaland will get a goal.
All right. Sorry, do you see anything could start back in and then his team cause any havoc?
I think I would love Brazil to win, but I think Brazil cannot look at this game and think it will be a foregone conclusion, because what the Norwegians know that they have, and they know they have a beast up front. They know they are not the best, so they will do their everything in their power to get as many chances as they can for Haaland. And Haaland doesn't need a lot of opportunities. So I don't think Brazil can go down in this game. Concede an early goal. If Brazil is to win this game, they will have to win it from the beginning.
I
If they
actually
go down
forgot
the
to add
goal,
one
it will
thing.
be difficult for them.
I actually forgot
Okay.
to add one thing. Time of day
Yeah.
matters a lot. I was trying to look at the time of day they play the game, and I've
Yeah.
mentioned this consistently on this app. On this podcast. Time of day matters a lot, especially for the Vikings,
European teams,
Northern European teams specifically. If they play the game under cooler weather conditions, I think the Norwegians would be a threat more. There'll be a threat more against the Brazilians. But regardless, I think the Brazilians should qualify. And Kelvin, we can move on to
All
the
right.
next one, can we?
Yeah, let's settle it now. Before we come to the biggest one of this, round, Kwame, to your favorite team, Mexico
The Three
against England.
Lions.
The Three Lions.
So
Kwame,
this is what I want
this
to
is
talk
all
about.
you. I
Let
have
me
nothing
ask
to
you.
say.
Kwame, this
I
is
have
all
nothing
you. So
to say.
please, nobody's saying
It's
anything
Kwame and
here. So
Mangana,
please
actually. Kwame and Mangana.
mute your microphone, Kwaku. I'll
It's
mute
for Kwame
mine.
and Mangana.
Kwame and Mangana.
Kwame and
The
Mangana.
next, how many minutes should we give you people? How many minutes do you want?
I could tell you two, but I could either be 10. So you have to restrict us.
You give us eight.
All right,
Give us eight.
I'm giving you guys 6. I'm giving you 8.
Yes,
5 for
eight.
Kwame, 3 for Mangana. All right, let's go.
Mangana, you go first then.
The England national team. For me, I think he picked the squad. For the fullback, he could have picked something different. Then if you are bringing somebody like, what's his name?
Mangana,
right
let's
back.
talk about the game. Let's talk about what they have in the game.
I'm getting there. When you pick certain players who have an injury record, you should expect that they can get injured. So when you are picking their backups, you pick those who will be available to play and those who can actually play. Now, against Mexico, and in Mexico, as they are at the Azteca, a place where Mexico has not lost in how many years, the atmosphere there will be insane. See, England are not playing against 11 players in that game. They are playing against 13. They are playing against the 11 players of the Mexican team, as well as the whole stadium and the whole country. It can be a blessing and a curse at the same time. All will depend on how well Mexico decide to start. If Mexico does not come to, if England press or take charge of the game from the onset, the fans will turn on the Mexican team, and then England will take the game away from them. But if the Mexican team goes on the front foot and are playing the way their fans want to see, then England will have a very long evening ahead of them, because they will be gritty, they will be aggressive, they will put in the tackle. They don't have, this is not the best Mexican team. They don't have the best of players. They've had better players. But that is why I think they have an edge here, because they know what they have, they know who they are, and in front of their fans, they will make it as hostile as possible, and they will make it as difficult as possible. England need to have a mental toughness to come into this game, especially when you played against Ghana and couldn't break them down, and you are playing against these people who have the whole stadium and the whole country behind them. That is where they need to show their result. That is where Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, I think those are the only two players who have actually shown that regardless of the circumstances, they will perform. So the other squad, the other members of the team need to come to the fore, because it will take more than just Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham to qualify from this round.
Thomas Tuchel is an op.
He's been sent by the Germans.
He's an op. He has managed to infiltrate us, to damage us for good.
I mean,
because the repercussions of him actually getting us knocked out of this tournament will linger on for years. He's an op. All the hard work that Southgate came to do, he's about to destroy all of it and then level us up with Germans now. This is exactly what he said. What is he doing? You are telling us that what the selection was what? It's awful. It's awful. It's bad. The English defense, this is the worst English defense ever. What's Spence doing in the team? What is Spence doing in the team?
That is the fullback he decided to select as backup to the one that is like glass.
Even the ones that he selected who have gotten injured shouldn't have been selected. Livramento should never have been selected in the first place for him to have gotten injured and be replaced by somebody who can't even play. He's an op. But let's get to the game. We are going to the Azteca.
Yeah.
Legendary Azteca. The last time England played the Hand of God. Just say, there's not even luck of even going there. Like, the last time we went there was the Hand of God. 1986 or something.
Yeah.
Maradona. Altitude. We are going to play in a place where we cannot breathe.
I think
100,000 spectators.
6,000 above sea level also, yeah.
The odds are grossly stacked against England. But I'd say this, and I'll repeat something that you said. The English team is far better than the Mexican team.
Yeah.
It's like they are not even close. But certain conditions, like if you go and play in Bolivia, you're not going to have it easy in Bolivia. Because despite the fact that Bolivia don't have good players.
Bolivia.
Exactly. So the key here in this game is surviving the first 20 minutes. Because that is what Mexico seek to do in every single game.
They start
the game fast.
Quinones.
Before you can catch your breath, 1-0, 2-0, and then they are draws. Listen to this. They're not even good from that time. Watch all their games. They struggle from that period on. It was the last group game that they had a late flurry of goals. But for most of that game, they're on the back foot. So if you are able to hold them, that's a good team, the superior team. For the first 20 minutes. And then you catch your breath. You get acclimatized to the conditions over there. The game only ends one way. So for England to get out of the Azteca, having progressed, don't concede early. The longer that game goes, the quality would obviously show. They are not teams that they're not at par at all. They are not. But the Mexicans have recognized what they can take advantage of, and they almost always try and take advantage of that. England should just hold tight first 20 minutes. If they get a goal, fine. If they don't get a goal, make sure it's 0-0. Because if you go down, they've struggled against low blocks. They were struggling against Congo and Ghana. Definitely Mexico will pose an even stiffer test if they decide to shut up shop. So don't concede early. If they don't concede early, England sail through.
If they don't concede early, England will sail through. And just as you say, I always say that tournament football, you need players with ingenuity. When it gets difficult for you, they should come to the party. Let Harry Kane, England would have been eliminated. And I always say it.
Yeah.
It just had to take him. How many strikers will be able to pick up that ball and hit it that way? Positioning, intelligence, it always counts. Well, that game is done. Kweku, you're going to start this for us. The biggest game of the round. Portugal, Spain. Cristiano Ronaldo wants to move forward. Lamine Yamal knows that the world is at him. He's being clamored to be the next big star. What is going to happen in that game? It's going to be a useless Roberto Martinez against one of the managers who thinks and gets the job done in De La Fuente.
I think the Iberian rivalry, the Iberian derby, serves as a very sweet, exciting, and I'm really looking forward to that game, the Portugal versus Spain encounter. I think the weapon fashion against the Portuguese team is the manager. I'm first to raise up my hand and say I was completely wrong. He fooled me as well. I had high hopes for Roberto Martinez when he was, named as the Portuguese boss. I
The
thought he was
chief
going
of
to do well.
hipsters. The chief of hipsters. That guy.
He was the initial hipster,
A lot of people talk about
the first of his kind.
his tenure at
They say his
Belgium.
interviews are some of the best.
Yes,
Sound
I
so
promise
intellectual.
I promise you. Kwame, did you listen to the Beast Mode podcast when he went on Bama Debayo's podcast?
No, I listened to the one, the overlap.
The overlap.
Where he went to.
Yeah.
Forget. He came on the overlap and waxed lyrical about Mateus Fernandes only for him to leave him out of the World Cup squad. But anyway, well, I think he's been poor. I think they've sailed through because of individual quality so far. Against Spain, I think it's going to be a different encounter. It's going to be two European teams who know each other very well and they have similar styles of play. The unfortunate thing is that one of them is obsessed with just having the ball and not being purposeful with it. And the other, who in my opinion, are actually technically better than the Portugal. So the Spanish team, I believe they are technically better than the Portuguese. But they rather even play on the transition. Almost every pass is a forward pass for them. And they play at 100 miles per hour. They play so fast, you think that
They're always moving.
they're a South American team.
They're always moving.
So quick, so fast. And they are playing in a tournament where Lamine Yamal hasn't even had, his A game yet. He's not, I would say he's not yet the star man of the show. Has he scored yet? I don't think so.
I think he scored one goal.
He scored already?
He has one goal.
He has one goal,
right?
Yeah, but he hasn't set the table alight at all.
Exactly. He hasn't
The
really
caveat here is he was
the
he had a
injury,
bad
right?
injury.
The injury, yeah.
Exactly.
The injury, not under normal.
He shouldn't be
circumstances.
playing the
He shouldn't
tournament.
be
even.
playing.
Yeah.
So before the tournament, when we're previewing, I said, they're going into a tournament with their two most devastating wingers, perhaps not going to be at their top level for them, which is Nico and Lamine Yamal. See, should Portugal be purposeful on the day? Should what's his name? Roberto Martinez ditch his hipster ways and really focus on what's most important in football, which is to win.
What's the issue?
The issue is that he went
Why
into the
can't he
tournament.
get that midfield working?
So here's the thing. He's focusing on the least important thing, which is having the ball. They pass around themselves so much. So oftentimes, Bruno and Ronaldo, who are the most, furthest forward
waiting for the ball.
They are just isolated up there waiting for the ball. And then they are passing among themselves between Renato Vega.
They are circulating the ball.
Oh,
The
my
ball is not
goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Look, if you say they are circulating the ball, it will you even think they are playing triangles. It's just
less
Vitinha
possession.
and they're just playing 5 yards to each other. 5 yards to each
Vitinha,
other.
Renato Vega, Joao Neves, what's his name? The other Ruben Diaz, just passing the ball amongst each other.
It
They form
sort
the
of
box.
emphasizes how good a coach Luis Enrique is, because these midfielders are not even the most physically
No,
they
dominant.
don't
No,
even physically
Yeah,
dominate.
Yeah.
no.
But they move the ball
Technical.
around so purposefully
That is it.
that
Play
it
forward,
works.
play
they-
quicker,
But Martinez
play with purpose.
he can't seem to get these people to
He just
play.
wants to play. He just wants to
Yeah.
possess.
And I think
All
I
he
think
wants to
one
do
of the
is to possess.
I think one of the problems he has is I think he's Juan Neves and Vitinha have been told play like you play at PSG, and the rest two
I
are
don't think
playing
they have been told that.
a different kind of football.
No,
Because
I think no.
they
I think that they're not even playing like
They're
the way
not playing like they play at
PSG.
PSG.
They're playing totally different roles.
They are
They
just playing possession,
they keep passing the ball to each other.
possession-based
And
football.
the other components of the team are not like, you don't know what system he's trying to play. You don't know how he's trying to progress the ball. When the last game they were playing, what vexed me when they get the ball and like their spaces, then they'll stand there and turn around and pass each other and let the team reset. And that is when they want to start. But I'm like, how are you going to score goals?
Do you know what I think the problem is? He's been there for quite a while now, and if you remember, he won the Nations League against Spain in the final.
Yeah.
He beat Spain in the final to win the Nations
Yeah.
League.
That
This
was
same
penalties,
Portugal.
right?
Penalties, yeah.
Penalties?
Penalties,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was on penalties.
But I think
Ronaldo
in
equalized.
that game, if I can remember correctly, Portugal were very good in that game.
Oh, they were very
They were
good.
very, very good.
They were
in that
very
game.
good.
Even his changes, bringing on this winger, Conceição and all those
Conceição.
Conceição
was
is
very,
good. I
very
like him.
crucial. Portugal played well. Barely enough that game. Guess what he did? He had João Neves playing as
Right back
to
in
start
the
the
first
game.
half.
You see, the point I'm making is he has tried too many things with this team in a short space of time. Sometimes they are playing this style of football, then tomorrow they are playing three at the back. Then tomorrow he's
Kwame, do you
playing
know
João
why-
Neves at right
You know
back.
why he played João Neves at right back?
Why?
It's his obsession with possession. Because at the end of the day, João
There
Neves
was
is going
as
to
many
invert.
players on the pitch who can.
Exactly. Invert into the midfield and then they can have the ball more. Superiority. That's all he's
So when the
thinking
World
about.
Cup has come, the grand finale, because this is the last month of his contract.
Yeah.
By the grand finale, the issue he has created for himself is a soup. Too many things over the and now when it's arrived there, they don't have a set thing that they are supposed to do that works.
My
How come we are not
goodness.
seeing the Portugal that won the Nations League? It's like a totally different team. And that was just 2 years ago.
Completely
Was it 2 years
different
ago?
It
Yeah.
was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching.
Just 2 years
In
ago.
fact,
Funny enough,
A year ago.
Portugal is not blessed.
A
It's not
year
so long
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Portugal is not some team that is blessed with abundance talent. See, it's a small country, not a relatively small country.
Relatively
compared to
small
Spain.
country.
And then the players that
And
they
it's
have
happened
it's
for
the
them
same
now.
pool. Oh. Guess what? They select the same pool of players. Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they are not informed, you're informed, you still have to come and play.
Because they haven't had
They'll
options.
Whether you are playing in Saudi Arabia, you are playing where
They
you still
haven't
have
had
to come and play.
options.
Yeah.
People
So
forget
they are
that
not,
at
it's
some,
not like
at some
you are
point. Yeah,
choosing from some huge pool of players. You've had these players for a long time, but they be now will be before. They are playing something different all the time.
like I
And
said,
now
Kwame,
they are here
he's
and they
obsessed
don't know what they
over-
are playing.
He's
They
obsessed
don't know
over
what they are
what
playing.
of the least important thing, which is possession, and not actually scoring goals. So here's my thing. I think you should
It's
go
Ronaldo a
with
problem.
no. I don't think so.
Kelvin, you have to answer this question. You smiled. I saw the smack. I saw the
Why is
smack
it?
in the corner. I
don't
saw
think
it.
so.
He said
It's
he
Ronaldo
asked
a
if
problem.
he asked if Ronaldo is a problem.
Personally,
It's not a
I don't think
problem.
so.
They are
Okay.
not feeding him
Look,
much.
Anytime
And you see,
people
Kwame,
ask that
Kwame,
question.
Kwame, I have a
their
question.
most,
Is
their most
Bruno a
creative,
problem?
their most creative player should be Bruno Fernandes. He also gets the ball and he's always passing back.
Passing backwards. I
What's
thought I was the
his
only one that
problem?
had noticed this. He's always passing
What's his
backwards.
problem?
And you know why I don't blame
And
him? You know
Bruno,
why I don't
Bruno
blame
is
Bruno?
supposed to be
And the
creating.
They are obsessed with possession.
The
They just
want to
possess the ball.
instruction
It's
that they are
clearly a
supposed to
coaching
play.
problem
Possess the ball.
because Bruno Fernandes, who plays for Manchester United, is accused of always playing the ball
They
forward.
call it hero ball. They call it hero
Yeah.
ball.
You call it
Yeah.
hero ball.
Exactly.
That's why I said
Whether
it's a
it is
coaching
on or
problem.
it is not on, he's playing
He's
the ball
playing it
forward.
there. He's
But one
playing it
thing
there.
Bruno has always said is, and he was
You take the
interviewed.
risky passes. Yeah.
Not even that. That's not what he said. You see, when they asked him about the whole Amorim thing and the whole Carrick thing and his position, he had this interview with this guy who gets people crying all the time. What's his bloody name?
The CEO,
Oh, the
Diary of the
Diary of a
CEO.
CEO.
Yes,
Bartlett.
that guy gets everybody emotional.
Yeah,
I don't know
Bartlett.
how.
Yeah.
I want to acquire that skill. He gets everybody emotional.
Exactly.
so
Kwame,
so
you're
they
too
asked
blind
him-
for that.
they, people rather get pissed off.
Don't get pissed off.
They asked him about the whole Amorim thing, the change,
Mhm.
what was different, what wasn't
Yeah.
working, blah blah blah. And he said one thing. You see, he described the position he's supposed to play,
Yeah.
playing
Yep,
in what's
yep.
blah blah. But he said this: it's not my job to do certain things I've not been told. I always do what every coach tells me to do.
It's to do. Yeah.
So basically, that's his mindset.
Mhm.
So it comes to at Manchester United, most coaches tell him, you have to play that ball because nobody is going to play that ball. So you have to play that ball forward. In Portugal, it is clear.
They have been told to have
is clear.
60% possession.
This stupid,
Kwame.
stupid is the hard word. This weird coach This weird coach, hipster, is telling them to recycle.
Just possess the ball.
Keep
That's what they've been
What
told.
are we doing?
I think if I'm not sure if you guys remember, David Moyes started that nonsense at Man United when he used to tell the players that today we want to play 600 passes, and Ferdinand was like, "Is that the objective of the match to play 600 matches? We have to win." So let me wrap up because I think we are getting close to 2 hours. I don't think we've ever done this long before, but I think if Portugal wants to win the game, they need to
change something.
Possession-based football. They need to be direct. I think what's his name? Rafael Leao has to start. I think Pedro Neto needs to drop to the bench. I think Bernardo Silva needs to come into the game. Pedro Neto was, oh my God, he frustrated me so much. But if I talk about him, I'm going to waste time.
Are you sure he frustrated you?
Before he went so much.
Are you sure he frustrated you? Before he went off in the game, he had been the player who was trying to find Ronaldo in the box.
Are you sure?
With all, yes.
See, you know what? I don't want us to get into it because
get into it.
I don't see why you people protect Rafael Leao with all his nonsense.
Time is fastened. No, I'm not protecting him. I'm not protecting him.
Playing high school football.
But when it mattered most, he got the first assist. He got the final assist. So just to wrap it up, everything tells me that the Spanish are going to win this game. But I'm a Portuguese fan. I want Ronaldo to go far. He got his first.
I'm just a Ronaldo fan, not a Portuguese fan.
No, I'll tell you. You guys have no idea what this man has done for me or has done to me. As a football fan,
done for me, I cannot tell it all.
From 2003, as a Man United fan,
I'm backing you.
You guys have no idea.
Portugal will pull a shock.
I want them to pull a shock. I need them to pull a shock. This is not the strongest Spain side. The players are not even on top form. And with this defense of Pau Cubas and Emerick Laporte,
come on.
Portugal should win. Well, I like that.
Let Leao cook Puro, and we can win the game.
That is great. Yes, we hope to see that because Spain, even with the last game that they played, it was just a team that they had to just run over. Since they won the World Cup in 2010, they had never won a knockout game. So it's yes, they had never won a knockout game at the World Cup since 2010 when they won. Mangana, you have like 45 seconds. Your thoughts, and then Kwame will wrap it all up for us.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Portugal to win the tournament. I remember when we were doing our picks, I picked Portugal to win the tournament. And I think they have the team, they have like the first 15 players that they can rely on to do that. The problem is the coach chooses to play this, whatever kind of football he decides to play. What they need to change is to be direct. Allow them to play through Bruno Fernandes, so that they can start putting the ball for. You have Rafael Leao, you have Ronaldo, you have Neto, you have Felix, whoever you have on the bench, you have Conceição. They are players who are willing to push forward. Let him get the ball on the ball quickly and find them. If you are going to continue to rotate and let the defense set, and now you are trying to pick passes, you won't beat anyone. So they should just simplify the football, go direct, and they will score goals. When Ronaldo is in the box, put the ball in the box. Bruno has the ability to shoot from long range. When they pass, and they can only get those opportunities when they pass the ball forward quickly, so that when whoever is on the wing, if he either cuts it to Ronaldo in the box or he cuts it back, there is space for the shot to be taken. But if you let the defense set and now you are trying to pick a pass, you don't have the players to who make those off the ball run into the box for you to be able to pick those passes. Simplify the football, go direct, score your goals, and then when you have your goals, then you can decide that we'll just keep control of the ball just so that the opposition cannot have opportunities.
All right, Kwame, what do you see from this game?
I've noticed something about how each and every single person makes his picks for who he wants to win the World Cup. It depends on your football ideology or the football team that you support. It's almost like as if we've categorized them into two groups. It's either you are supporting the Portugal, Brazil, England side, or you are supporting the Spain, Argentina.
and
France. France.
France are on the other side.
No, I'm not talking about the bracket. I'm talking about your
Yeah. France are on the England side. Kwame, it's played
people
down
like
between
a certain type of football.
It's not even type of football. is the Man U Madrid side and the Barcelona hipster people on the
Yes,
other side.
yes,
It's
yes.
simple.
Yes.
Barcelona,
Okay, so it's
Messi,
more
they
like
go.
Argentina and Spain on one side.
Yeah, and the rest.
Yeah,
And
Barca,
yeah,
Argentina, yeah. Surely Barca.
those of us on the other side.
It's going
Wow,
to be
so-
interesting. Like
Yeah.
the big guns we expect most of the big guns to qualify. But as for me, I think the Europeans would ultimately, as usual, outstall the South Americans.
Okay.
One of them might go through in perhaps Argentina. But
Argentina.
no team sort of wins a World Cup back to back. So even Argentina, I feel like if they just come up against one powerhouse from Europe, just one,
They'll go out.
at any stage, they'll be kicked out.
Wow, they could be kicked out. A lot will happen. But Anasari, yes, I have a message from Le Bleu for you. Yes, Mbappe, Olise, and then, Dembele. They are sending a message to you that calm down for them. They are trying to do their best and hopefully they'll get to the finals and see what happens. But they really have a very tough path. Argentina, if they manage to progress, they meet either Switzerland or Colombia. Actually, what a path for them. Well, we've come to the end of another wonderful, discussion. Yes, we left everything 50-50. We did not agree. We did not reach a consensus. Everything was 50-50. So split your views, split your opinions wherever you are. It's been a wonderful one. Leave a comment where you need to leave it and give us, questions which we can feed into our next discussions. We are going to answer them all. Yes, Kwame will give us the next thing about Germany and what will happen, good for them. Kweku will come and, glorify Ronaldo here after, and I'll come and speak about my France. Mangana will speak about his England, and we get to see if Harry Kane can double up and beat Kylian Mbappe and then Lionel Messi to the Golden Boot. It's been a wonderful session. Follow us across all the socials, the 50-50 Football Podcast. Share with your friends and don't listen alone, because when you listen alone, you may not get the best out of it. Share with friends and enjoy the debate just as we had it here. Thanks to each and everyone. Kweku, Kwame, Mangana, and myself will meet after the round of 16.